Rob Van Dam, listen to Tru Heel Heat. Pow.
Hello everyone, it's hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat.
What's up?
Tru Heel Heat.
Hey guys, it's Thunder Rosa and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Yes, it is time. It is time, not for the Saturday morning cookout, but for the Sunday morning cookout. The Tru Heel Heat Flagship podcast is on a special day, Sunday, because we had WWE King and Queen of the Ring premium live event yesterday in the afternoon, but the finals did not go out without a hitch. WWE botches the finals of the King of the Ring. We'll also be discussing how AEW, as a former world champion about to be close to his return, Becky Lynch possibly leaving WWE. We got a lot to discuss. This is the Flagship podcast. Let's hit the intro. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 278, King and Queen of Double or Nothing, discussing the latest wrestling news, including MJF nearing his AEW return, WWE announcing 2 nights of SummerSlam in Minnesota coming up in 2026. Recap of this week in wrestling with yesterday's WWE King and Queen of the Ring premium live event, with Gunther and Nia Jax being crowned. You also had SmackDown, Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, ROH TV, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Best of Super Juniors 31, Week 2, as well as TNA Impact and Stardom flashing lights. Plus, we'll do final predictions for AEW Double or Nothing tonight. And of course, I am joined now by my esteemed colleague, the True Draw himself. We reviewed King and Queen of the Ring yesterday. Now we're here to discuss this week in wrestling. He is Josh. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to talking about this past week. There's a lot to say.
As always, there is always a lot to say about professional wrestling. So we're going to discuss that on the show. And of course, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You could also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We are less than 200 subscribers away from 15K. We are trying to hit that goal, that next milestone for us here at the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel before the end of May. So if you can tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody if they haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, we are here pretty much every day of the week. Consistent content. No one does content like Tru Heel Heat, covering all spaces of professional wrestling from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom, TNA, Ring of Honor. It does not matter. We talk about professional wrestling here. So tell everybody to hit that bell to stay notified for all the great content that we have here. But most of all, Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and the flagship podcast is known for us giving back. And so we're highlighting all your comments in the live chat. So whether, you are here live, if you're watching us on demand, you could sound off in the comment section, in the live chat. But most of all, if you're with us live, send your support in the simplest way possible is by hitting that $, sending some super chat donations. Those go back to all the contributors that you usually see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support and the feedback. We got Safet in the chat this morning. He said, sup. We also got Chuck Berries in the chat who says, good morning, ladies and gents. Let's go, Mercedes, and let's go, Will. What's up? We got what's up, SP3, Josh in chat from Frantic World. And yes, how excited are you, Josh? Tonight, Double or Nothing. We're going to do our final predictions for the show today. How excited are you for tonight's show?
When you guys did the preview, I said about a solid 8. I still stand by that because I think usually they put on great pay-per-views. I understand that some people weren't as high just because of the build-up and all this stuff. So I understand, but me personally, from watching constantly, I would say about a solid 8.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're higher than me and the Brit Rest All-Star team that we didn't hold any punches on our thoughts on the build up to Double or Nothing. I like I said on the preview, I'll say it here. I'm at like a 6.5, 7 for tonight's show. I always know with AEW, their pay-per-views are always going to deliver, but when they give us the build-up from, like I said on the preview, and I'll say it here, the build-up to Revolution was one of their best ever. It made me so excited to go to North Carolina to see Sting's retirement, to see Ospreay versus Takeshita, to see Bryan versus Eddie Kingston. I was even excited for Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo, who winded up being one of the worst matches on that card. I was still excited for it going in because the build-up was so great, and I feel like ever since then, Dynasty was like a little bit lower of a build. It was all right. And then this one, I don't think it was the best build. And it's become a theme with Double or Nothing that the builds to Double or Nothing for the last 2 years before this one have not been the greatest. And I don't think this one was as great as well.
Nah, I agree with that. And I think the card itself, the card looks better this year. It's all going to be about placement. Because I think last year what happened was the placement of the card. That's basically what hurt the show itself. So I think if they place everything right, it's gonna end up being a good show. Now, do I think it's gonna sway a lot of the AEW fans? No, because they're gonna hate anything. So they're gonna find any way to trash it either way. But we'll see.
We shall see. We shall see how it goes. But we're going to talk about a whole bunch of professional wrestling, especially with WWE having a big show Memorial Day weekend themselves. We'll talk about that shortly. We also going to highlight a bunch of your comments. We got Power Driver Finisher, one of our usuals here, our regulars here in the Tru Heel Heat channel, saying sup y'all. We also got a new face, Brandon Barnes, who says good morning guys. Good morning to you. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on the flagship. We got Eric Isaac, who says good morning fellas, and we also got Frantic World with a very important message here saying let's say a prayer for Darby and see if he makes it out of the pay-per-view safe and okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be safe, but I think he'll make it okay.
I mean, he's lived through everything else. I'm sure he's going to live through this. But before we go to our Tru Heel roll call, where we shout out all of you who support us across here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and our social media, we got our third head of our panel here, fashionably late as per usual, it seems. It is the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Chrissy Love. How are you?
Why you gotta be calling people out so early in the morning? It's listen, I got up late. I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I'm here. I didn't care. No, like I'm here. I'm tired, but I'm here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy, what's today? All in day, right?
No, double or nothing.
Okay.
Double or nothing.
She's in
the summer. She just woke up. She's like Jimmy McElroy before AU Ramble.
Hi, friends. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is celebrating their Memorial weekend well. How are you all? Hi, Josh. Where's Prince? How's Wendy? How's the twins?
Oh, they're in the living room right now. They're in the living room right now, so they're just chilling.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, peeps? How do we like?
How you doing, Krssi? How's your Memorial Day weekend going?
Too well, obviously, because I'm tired. But yeah, I'm here. Hey guys, what's going on?
Someone was partying for Saturday Memorial Day. Hey, you went to a cookout?
No, it was a boat ride, but whatever.
Oh, she fancy, huh? Princess on the boat. Oh, snap. Okay, I see you. Brush your shoulder off. Mr. Love, spoiling you a bit. I see that. I see you.
Nope, I'm good. But yep, that's it. We're all here. Hello.
We got a hey for Krssi in the chat. Frantic World seems like he's good. We got a happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone from Safet. Happy Memorial.
Great. I'm here right on time.
No, we I know how to stretch things to wait for you to show up. But we start off our Tru Heel flagship podcast with the roll call, our top 3 conversation starters over on the Tru Heels group page, our Tru Heel Trinity. Number 3, Jermaine Packman. Number 2, Joe Bellini. And number 1, Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers, we always love to shout out here. We got Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James Allen, Santo, Christopher Kidd, Benno, Snowflake, and Muhammad. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, and that is the best way to support us. It helps us to do more content just like this, and we'll do more content over there as well. But let's talk about what we missed, and we're going to go over to Saudi Arabia as you had WWE kicking off the weekend with SmackDown in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, as well as the WWE King and Queen of the Ring. First up on SmackDown on Friday, the show featured Randy Orton beating Tama Tonga to advance to the King of the Ring finals. It was a pretty good matchup. Post-match, Solo Sikoa jumped Orton until the returning Kevin Owens made the save for Orton, making the save and fighting off the bloodline. You also had Nia Jax. She pulled out the victory, defeating Bianca Belair in a good bout to advance to the Queen of the Ring finals, squashing Bianca, which would become a theme of the weekend. Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul had another fun promo exchange with Paul getting caught with another pair of brass knuckles, despite giving his quote-unquote only pair to Michael Cole earlier in the day and promising he wouldn't use them at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. which brought us to WWE King and Queen of the Ring on Saturday. That show featured, of course, the aforementioned Cody Rhodes defeating Logan Paul to retain the undisputed WWE Championship in a great main event matchup. Man, Logan Paul ceased to amaze me how good he is and how well he fits in these main event matches. Once again, delivering another fabulous performance as Cody Rhodes retained the WWE Undisputed Championship. Meanwhile, we had a new champion crowned in the opener as Liv Morgan defeated Becky Lynch to win the WWE Women's World Championship. Thanks to
she lost like 3 times, so of course they were going to let her win. Duh, you told me yourself, stupid. Oh, I'm so sorry. Damn, I thought I was on mute. My bad. Continue.
Thanks to an inadvertent assist from the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio, who said that he wasn't going to let Liv get her hands on Mommy's title, but he did exactly that. Nia Jax, meanwhile, she beat Lyra Valkyria to win the Queen of the Ring tournament in what was the best finish of the night, as she completely killed Lyra with the Annihilator, the best Annihilator she has ever done, to earn the WWE Women's World Championship opportunity at SummerSlam coming up in August. It was Triple H who made the announcement that the Queen and King of the Ring winners would get a shot at their respective world titles at SummerSlam. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable and Bronson Reed nearly stole the show as Sami retained the Intercontinental Championship in what I thought was a great triple threat match, with Otis being a deciding factor and costing Chad Gable the victory. And then finally, you had Gunther going one-on-one with Randy Orton in a dream match, first time ever matchup, a very good, hard-hitting bout to win the King of the Ring tournament. Unfortunately, the finish saw Orton's shoulder obviously up despite the 3 count from the referee, but Gunther was still named the King of the Ring for 2024. Miss Chrissy Love, what did you think? Overall thoughts on WWE King and Queen of the Ring?
Man, I tell you, these Saudi shows have come a long way. They've come a long way from being shit shows to now actually being very entertaining. Oh, he left. Okay, well, anywho, I actually enjoyed it, Josh. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a short show, but it was actually a good show. It just proves that you don't need 10 damn matches for a good show, and it's like, I think every match had its own like story and its own meaning. Like I don't think there was a bad. I mean, you could say it was a bad match, but they were all decent matches, to be honest. Like all the matches on the card were all good. I don't know if you heard what I said, SP, but I said the card was I said that the show was actually pretty decent. Like these Saudi shows have come a long way, and you don't need a 10 match. You don't need a 10 show matches to have a good like pay-per-view, and this was actually a really good pay-per-view. I say what I want about Logan Paul. I could say he's an asshole.
I still need more matches. I don't care. I know a bunch of people want to be like, oh yeah, it doesn't last too long. 5 match shows are no. Those were good takeovers. It's too short. You're telling me I have to watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, which has more matches than the fucking pay-per-view.
You're right. Okay, fine. I mean, we had a pre-show, which was like 2 hours. You didn't need 2-hour pre-show. You could have had the girls on there. You could have had your tag that just showed you how they feel about the tag match, because they put on a fucking pre-show. That could have been on the main show. It could have been filtered in kind of like in the middle somewhere. They already knew what the hour was going to be anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, like I said, you can say what I want. I can say what I want about Logan Paul, but he put when he needs it, he understands. He goes up there, does what needs to be done.
Yeah, always. I appreciate Logan Paul for always, like, he shows out. He shows out every single time.
Yeah, he shows up and shows out every match. Like, I mean, he's like one of like the like stars that's like taking this very serious and like puts on great shows. I mean, matches, excuse me.
Yeah,
So
100% agree with you. There we got Big Man Dogs. He says, I saw people get worked by the Gunther Orton Gunther finish. I mean, if you meant people getting worked to believe that that was the plan, then yeah, I did see that as well. But if you meant people getting worked that was the plan, no, it was not. The pin was supposed to be a clean pin, but it works out for WWE because they acknowledge the fact that it was a botch. That's all I ask for. If something is that obvious, don't pretend that the fans are stupid and didn't see that. So I appreciate them acknowledging that. So Josh, any extra thoughts that you didn't give us on the review yesterday on WWE King and Queen of the Ring?
No, I think most of my thoughts are they're basically still the same. I thought the show was solid, nothing too crazy, nothing over the top. I gave it 7.5. I still stand by that. Again, that's still a good show. It's still a good rating. But I do agree with SP3 when it came to yesterday when we were talking about it, that there definitely was something missing within the show. Like there was just something there. The bloodline missing, that was so obvious of them not being on the show. I think that kind of hurt it in a way. The finishes, like we mentioned the Gunther Orton match. It was a solid match. I think they were missing like one or two more gears within that match, but then the finish kind of like made it stale for me at the end. And then even the finish with the Logan Paul and Cody match, like the fucking guy that grabbed Logan Paul, and then Cody did 3 crossroads to Logan Paul. He don't need to do 3 crossroads. He did 1 to AJ Styles, man. He's 3 against Logan Paul. Like that was some bullshit. So again, it was a solid show. It's funny, right? Because I know you were mentioning about the card, like, hey, I don't need like 10 matches. It's funny because with me personally, I'm fine with WWE's formula. I'm like, if that's your formula, that's fine. But I think you can't. It's going to get to a point that you can't really get away with that. You're doing five matches for 3 hours. That's kind of. And then the pre-show was 2 hours. So you got 5.
And they keep showing like all the video packages. Like you didn't need that. Like, you didn't need that show to be 2 hours. Like because I was like, is it on at 11 or is it on at 12? Like what's happening?
Yeah, and the reason why
that's all they played one of the video packages like twice because they had to fill time. Like, why are you doing a 2-hour pre-show?
Yeah, and it was like even so, right? Like I think with WWE PLEs, I think we've gotten used to that at this point. It was like, oh, all right, we're gonna get 5 or 6 matches, right? Which is fine. But I love the fact when people go on Twitter and they try to compare like AEW pay-per-views to WWE pay-per-views. They try to criticize AEW for putting on more matches. So I'm like, all right, so now we have fans complaining about more matches in a pay-per-view while they need to solidify, hey, this is why you're paying $50 for, right? Compared to WWE, a PLE, you're just paying for Peacock, $6, right? So I mean, like when it comes to that, I think that's why I'm okay with the formula, whatever they're using. However, doing a 5-match show for 4 hours, that's kind of just, I don't know, that's kind of long-winded because now you're just trying to find useless fillers. Like you don't need the bullshit like that, in my opinion, when it comes to like WWE shows. Like the whole thing, the segment with Bianca, right? Bianca and Jade, that fucking useless promo. We didn't need that. It was a waste of time.
That was pointless. That was pointless, but they were trying to fill time. And if you're gonna do a 5-match card, I should not come out of any of the matches being like, oh, that needed like 2 to 3 more minutes. But like 3 of the matches last night, Gunther and Randy, the triple threat, and Lyra and Nia, you could have gave Lyra some more offense and make it like two more minutes. 3 of the 5 matches I felt were shorter than it needed to be. It should have been longer with a 5-match card.
Yeah, that was crazy. Imagine that, like, oh no, we need to cut time. Imagine that, like, oh, we need to cut time. And it's like, you need to cut time for what? You got fucking 5 matches. The fuck you need to cut time for?
Listen, you say what you want. I don't mind the short pay-per-view, especially in the middle of a Saturday. Like if it's like Saturday night, fine, whatever. But for the middle of the day, I'm okay with it because you can still go outside and still do stuff. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. That is the bright side.
That's the bright side of it all.
Really.
Like, you know, for us, like being on the East Coast, like that's, you know, we suffer because we see it always at night, and other people always have a lot of time left over. You know, understand? Like the West Coast. So if it's for me, yeah, you could say of the matches, yes, that I can agree with you on. Like the girls could have cooked a little bit more. We didn't need useless promos. Like the order of the stuff, yes, I agree. That shit was stupid. The time of everything, they should have given more time for them to cook and do everything that they need to do. But you rushed through this whole thing, which is okay, whatever. But you could have like, don't make Raw 3 hours and filter it with foolishness until you give us this pay-per-view, and then it's like that. That's all.
Big Man Dog saying I watched it in slow motion and it looked purposeful. I mean, if that's what you saw, more power to you. But WWE admitted that it was a botch. I hate to burst your bubble. I hate to burst your bubble, but I also watched it. I also watched it in slow motion, and it was a botch finish. It was just that. It was a botch finish. The referee should have broke its count. When you see the shoulder is up that obviously, even if it's purposeful, like you're saying, Big Man Dogs, it's still botched because it's too obvious. If you're supposed to do that type of finish, the shoulder's supposed to be up at the last second, not the whole entire count. that is a botch finish, regardless of how you try to spin it. I'm sorry to let you know that.
When did they was a botch? Like after the show was over?
Yeah, Triple H put out an interview on social media saying that there was a controversial finish, but the referee's decision still stands, and we're gonna do a rematch because I don't think Gunther is happy with that winning in that way, and Randy of course isn't happy, but he never said that the rematch would be for a title shot. So I just wanted to note that as well. It was very obvious that was an add-in, that the whole promo and interview was because it was so obvious that the finish was botched.
Yeah, and then also there was like no planned date because it was like, oh, Randy's gonna heal up from his back injuries, his knee injury. So again, it's a good thing that they did acknowledge it, but I think some fans, I don't know, to try to convince yourself that was part of the plan, I think it's a little ridiculous because you don't need a storyline between Gunther and Orton when they're both from different. One, they're in different brands, and two, you're not gonna have Gunther win in that fashion to say like to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a serious storyline. It makes no fucking sense, right? If Gunther's gonna win, he's gonna win. That was obvious, so it makes no fucking sense that that's the route you're gonna go.
Yeah, like like Savette said. He says, if it was on purpose, they wouldn't admit that it was a botch. That's the thing. Like even our good friend on social media, who always seems to always try to tell us what to tweet and what not to tweet. Aaron Ziegler, even he admitted this morning. He apologized to the Tru Heel Heat account because he was like, I didn't watch it. I watched it over and I apologize. It was a botch. Thank you, sir. If you're watching, thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging that. Yes, WWE can mess up. Every wrestling promotion can mess up. But at least WWE is not in the Vince era of where they wouldn't have admitted that it was a mess up. They would have just kept going and just showed different angles, which they tried to do on the replay. They tried to show us a different angle that didn't show that Orton's shoulder was obviously up. But even on that angle, you could see Orton's shoulder was up.
So either way you try to fix it, it's all looks the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much. But speaking of which, let's talk about what Triple H had to say exactly. As previously noted, Gunther is the king of the ring after defeating Orton in the finals of the tournament. However, the finish proved to be controversial as one of Orton's shoulders were up during the pinfall. In a post on Twitter, Triple H addressed the finish and the possibility of a rematch between the two, and he said, I quote, "So, live, I was out there. From my vantage point, it was very difficult to see. Bullshit. I was in the ring handing the crown to Gunther. Very happy for him. Incredible night. What a performance they both put on. Coming back here and seeing it back, I saw exactly what you saw. I saw what everybody saw. I saw what everybody is talking about. Didn't even really seem controversial to me. Just seemed like Randy Orton's shoulder wasn't down. But I'm going to say this. Referee's decision is final. Gunther is your king of the ring. That being said, especially after what I saw tonight, I certainly want to see that again. I think Randy Orton deserves to have another shot at that. And I think if I know anything about Gunther, he will want to have another shot at that to take the controversy away, to take the asterisk off of the page where it says King of the Ring for him. I think he will want to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is better than Randy Orton. So I think having seen Randy back here, he's pretty banged up, both his knee and his back. I think it's going to be a moment or two before he is ready to step back into the ring with Gunther. When he is, let's go. So there you have it. Triple H admitted. He was like, oh, from my vantage point, I didn't see that. I didn't see. I was out there live. I couldn't really see that well. I got to get my eyesight checked and shit. But yeah. He admitted that it was a botch. It was unfortunate, but it's a botch that can work in their favor because I still believe that Randy Orton is going to get the title opportunity at the Undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam. So if they do the rematch, I say like a Clash at the Castle or Money in the Bank, you can have Orton win to set him up for Cody, and you could still do Gunther and Damian Priest because Gunther technically won the first matchup by referee's decision.
Yeah, and I think that should that if you do that, I think it should be acknowledged. Like, hey, if Orton wins, he gets a title shot for his brand. I think that's something that they should make it clear, because then you can have another layer. Like if Orton wins, like, wait a minute, but Orton, shouldn't he win King of the Ring then because he won the rematch? And so I think if they do it like that, then I think it will make more sense. And then you basically have a clearer winner for each brands, and then they go focus on that.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, everybody wins, nobody loses.
Supposedly.
But I wanted to ask you though, because we got some announcements about the World Heavyweight Championship at King of the Ring as well. During yesterday's WWE King and Queen of the Ring event, Triple H also had a promo on the show where he announced a new World Heavyweight Championship matchup for WWE Clash at the Castle in June. It will be Drew McIntyre, who has now been cleared to return to in-ring action. He will challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at the event in McIntyre's native Scotland. WWE Clash at the Castle Scotland will be held on June 15th in Glasgow, Scotland. It will be held at the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. It will be broadcast live on Peacock. I want to ask Miss Chrissy Love, what do you think about, Drew getting the opportunity in his native Scotland? A lot of people assumed that Drew would win the championship here, but now with Gunther waiting in the wings, wouldn't it make more sense for Damian Priest to still be champion by the time we get to SummerSlam? How do you see this whole transpiring now that we have the announcement of the Clash at the Castle main event?
This is hard because do we make him lose at home twice, which is but then we have Gunther and was like, I don't see no one winning at this point. Like we all lose at this point because it's not servicing us well. It's a disservice to us, I feel like. Because I can see Priest doing, being a short-term champ, and that's perfectly fine. He put it underneath his belt. However, do we have another sloppy finish like we did last night? I mean, I don't know for like Gunther, like what's, or do we have like, or do we have, well, Randy would be on the other show. So it's so like, I don't know. If you do make him lose in his hometown yet again, like that's just, not only did I lose at WrestleMania embarrassingly, now I got to lose at home twice. That's terrible. Just keep saying that on Drew's name. Check off the marks. Like, just loser.
He's a loser in different fashions. Seems like every year he's getting a different loss at a different level.
I don't know, man.
We got our good brother Vala B, who has been a member for 11 months. Next month makes a year for Vala B as a member of the channel. Thank you, as always, Vala B. You're always one of our big supporters of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. He says, okay, in Randy's defense, even if he barely has control of his shoulders, thanks to his hypermobility issues. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think Randy really was trying to get his shoulders down, but he just can't control it at this point of his life.
It's probably true. But it's also difficult. It's a difficult pin because remember, it wasn't like a typical roll up. So it's a difficult pin. You know, this is the same shit that happened with Becky and Ronda. It was a similar pin.
Oh, yes, yes, for WrestleMania, correct?
Yeah. So it was a similar pin. The only difference is that in that situation, they just never acknowledged it, and the ref completely just didn't look at it. Yeah. So like, they're different situations, but I do agree with that. Like, it was just his momentum. It happens, unfortunately. It's just happened at the worst moment.
Like, yeah.
It happened at the worst moment.
The last timing, and it's like, oh shit, I was supposed to be down. I was supposed to have my shoulder down, and I didn't do it. So really my fault. So like,
you know, Orton is probably looking in the mirror, looking at his shoulders, being like, stupid.
You know, it's funny. I was about to say that.
Only the OG fans would understand that one. Big Man Dogs says Triple H is a boring booker, so I don't believe it's a work to defend WWE. I just have the vibes. I love that. And I love Vala B's response. Vala B said Big Man Dog didn't see what everybody else saw. No.
He didn't. Slow motion is look, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Oh man, our chat is the best. Y'all make me laugh every single week. Thank you, Ed E. Kane Man, who says SP3 does a great Triple H impersonation. It's taken months and months of practice, and smoking weed helps out with the gravelly voice. That man sounds like he does a pack of Newports every freaking day. Every freaking day.
A pack of Newports. Wow.
A pack of Newports. A pack of Newports every freaking day of the week. We got the Peacock numbers and they look great. And so.
Oh god.
Oh man, it's great. It's great. Yeah, that's also true. He says crucifix fins are pretty definitive. Yes. But we appreciate y'all in the chat as always. Keep it coming with those comments in the live chat as we talk more about the news coming out of WWE King and Queen of the Ring. There was more PLE news this week, and a big one was made earlier in the week as WWE has announced that SummerSlam will be expanding to 2 nights coming in 2026 and will take place at the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It happens on Saturday, August 1st and Sunday, August 2nd of that year. I was in Minnesota in 2021 for Full Gear 2021. It's a pretty place, not much to do, but hey, SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights in 2026. What do you think, Miss Chrissy Love, of the fact that SummerSlam is expanding to 2 nights? The fact that WWE is announcing this 2 years in advance, and the tease on WWE King and Queen of the Ring, where Michael Cole and Corey Graves kind of tease what could be the location for SummerSlam in 2025, which made me and Josh in the chat yesterday on the review believe that SummerSlam could be coming to Saudi Arabia. next year?
The fact that it's 2 nights, not necessary. Sorry. Have fun. Do whatever you're gonna do. I'm not gonna attend. And the fact that they did this like 2 years in advance is like it's supposed to be a consolation prize because it's not gonna be there this year because it's in Cleveland. Sure, and it's a consolation prize. We didn't do you for WrestleMania, so we'll give you SummerSlam. We'll give you 2 nights. Sure. I don't know why we need a 2-night long SummerSlam. If you wanted to make it's one of the big 4, great. What's next? Royal Rumble 2 nights, the girls on one night and then the guys on the next. Like,
yeah. Dude, like I think our good friend, who thinks more on the business end, Stat King John, Stat King Martin, he put it up in our group chat. He was like, Endeavor has to make up for the cost of this merger. This merger between WWE and UFC cost $21 billion. And this is why by the time 2026 comes, I think we're getting 2-night Royal Rumble, 2-night SummerSlam, and yes, 3 nights of WrestleMania.
3 nights, really?
Because what's gonna make WrestleMania different if every other big 4 or big 3 pay-per-view is 2 nights?
SmackDown review? Like, what are we doing?
I don't think SmackDown in 2 years is going to be on Fridays, so that's going to help them out.
Oh, you're right. Shit, I forgot all about that. Damn,
it's moving to USA. I don't know if it's going to stay on Fridays.
I think wasn't there a report that they said that they're all the shows are going to stay the same night for now, like
even for now. For now, I think, but the only ones that we got like solidification about was Mondays with Raw going to Netflix, right? and NXT staying on Tuesdays. But I don't think we've gotten any definitive word as far as SmackDown staying on Fridays.
I just think that it's not really necessary to have. I mean, yes, they have to make up this money, but they knew what the fuck they was getting into when y'all had the fucking deal. So what do you, I don't understand. Like, what are we doing?
And they always brag about making record deals,
right? So it's like
records. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I am on Krssy's side on this. I totally get it because even I said it when Sober Guy posted it up. At first I laughed because it wasn't so much of the 2 nights. It was just like, wow, so they gotta wait 2 years. I was like, damn, bro, not even next year. They gotta wait 2 years. Like, oh yeah, we'll give you this because
they're making this like this big announcement. Oh my god, we're doing something. Yeah. It's in 2 years, like.
Yeah, and then when I saw it 2 nights, I asked the same thing. I was just like, oh.
That's like telling me I want a lotto and I gotta get my money in 3 years. Like what?
Yeah. And then I was making the argument. Basically, I was like, yeah, like Royal Rumble would make the most sense. Like if you're gonna make one of the other shows 2 nights,
yeah, I would do.
I was like, Royal Rumble would make sense because you could put the women one night. And
when's
then
the last time SummerSlam been really like good? Like,
it's been a while.
Exactly.
I would say 2022. Remember, 2022 was Triple H's first show. That was the first PLE he did, and that had the Damage Control debut, the great Becky and Bianca opener. It had the great Logan Paul and Miz matchup, and then the ridiculous Brock and Roman matchup with the forklift. So that was a great show. Last year's SummerSlam was one of their worst shows of the year, but I would say this one, I would say 2022 was the last great one that they had.
Yeah, I would say the last great one. Like, yeah, I agree with that. Probably 2022. Okay. Even so, it was like that was one night, and that was still a great show. I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do a second night? Like, what are you gonna build off the second night?
That's all we're saying.
But
have a 3-hour pre-show at a filling fucking time.
Yeah,
we're gonna get 2 nights of 5-match cards, guys.
Oh, you see, this is part of it. You see this, and imagine you do this shit combined. Like, hey, we have 10 matches. I'm like, the fuck? I get this shit in one night. The fuck is this?
You could have did it in one,
right? But like, I mean, business aspect. Like when it comes to WWE and the business, I'm not gonna really push back on that sense because I'm like, hey, they're looking to make money, and people are gonna feed into it, right? People are gonna buy the tickets. So in that aspect, I'm never gonna argue when it comes to that because they're gonna make their money, right? It's just more the sense of like the SummerSlam does it need to be 2 nights? My opinion right now is no. If you're gonna make a 2-night show, it will be the Royal Rumble.
But
That's the next one you'll go with.
We've been saying this for a long time. They're losing the aspect of the wrestling side of it and making it more of a like showman, like it's more about money and entertaining.
Yeah, but that was like honestly, that was the goal, regardless, because even when Nick Khan, when he got hired, that was technically his goal. Like he spoke about it numerous of times. So like that was his goal of making it more than like, you know, like a scrap, you know, like whatever you want to call it, like a bigger than wrestling kind of thing. Like this was always their goal. So that's what they're doing now. And they're able to do it more so now because, you know, the old pervert is not there anymore. So that's why they've been focusing more on that. So, I mean, again, when it comes to the business aspect of it, I'm not going to really argue that because this is kind of what they wanted. This has been their business model for the last two years. And this is kind of like the mission statement when he got hired. So that I get. It's just, it was so random. I'm like, SummerSlam, 2 nights. Minnesota, you having that 2 nights in Minnesota. I think 1 night in Minnesota is enough. But damn, people got to stay out in Minnesota for a while. What we gonna do out there? You're
gonna make one of those special like access things where you got to pay extra $100 or something to go into that shit. Do entrances. Go to the store. The store doesn't really have a lot of.
I don't think they even do that in Minnesota because it's not going to do well. Like that shit is not going to do well.
I think they are going to do. They are going to do that though.
If you're giving people
no, I think they are, but it's you know what it is too. When it comes to stuff like that, like the whole WWE World stuff, you got to do it in a market that's going to really, you know, that's you're going to make your money back. Minnesota's not really that kind of market. Like if you do like in Illinois,
they think it is because they got people. They put it there for
no, I mean within SummerSlam, that's a different thing. But I'm talking about like the actual convention itself. Like,
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
It's a different kind of thing. But then also it's Fanatics who's running it, so they're the ones that are going to be pumping the money for that. It's not going to be WWE thing. It's going to be Fanatics because that's their deal. But even so, I'm like, that's gonna be a hard sell over there because even
it was okay, like
because even when they were doing it every year, that's kind of why they stopped access. Like when they cut down the costs of access because of that. Like when they did it in Toronto, WWE when they did the SummerSlam in Toronto and they did access, they lost a lot of money within access because it's not a drawing aspect of convention scenes. Like you gotta when you do conventions, you gotta do it at the right places. I know about all this stuff. Like Cali's a good spot for conventions. Cali, New York, Philly, Chicago, Florida. Those are good like areas. Like if you're gonna do like a big convention, meet and greets, those are good spots to do it. Minnesota is not the strongest area to do that in. They are gonna do it. They are going to do it because they got to justify, hey, we're 2 nights in this dump, so we got to do something. So, you know, or if people want to, they could go to the Twins game, and if the Yankees are in town, you just watch the Yankees whoop their ass. So, I mean,
pleasant. That is so pleasant of you to remind them. But yes, it's going to be interesting what direction they're going in with their major shows, because I'm telling y'all, I think by the time we get to like 2027, 2028, we're seeing 2 nights, 2-night Royal Rumble, 2-night SummerSlam, 2-night Money in the Bank, and 3 nights of WrestleMania. Yep. I think they'll do 2 nights of Money in the Bank before they do 2 nights of Survivor Series. There's no reason to do 2 nights of Survivor
You don't need
Series.
2 nights of Survivor Series. You don't need. Why would we need 2 nights of Money in the Bank? What are we gonna do? SP
Men's Money in the Bank headlines one show. Women's Money in the Bank headlines the other. The gimmick pay-per-views that have a men's and women's matchup, they are gonna make 2 nights.
Krssi, she's like, oh boy.
She's like, oh boy, because she knows I'm telling the truth. He knows I'm telling the truth right now.
Hey man, it's like your boy on Twitter when he said, "Is anybody tired?" Remember, and he had that big blowout. He had that big
Yes.
So
Yeah, I'll make this perfectly clear. Content creators that are yelling in basements because they have an inept ability to have a genuine relationship with other human beings in New York City should not be having a Twitter name that says from New York, because all you doing is destroying the reputation of New York. You rat-tailed, bearded bastard. Shut your jackass. Man, fuck this nigga. Anyway,
Whoa.
Final news note in regards to WWE King and Queen of the Ring. On Wednesday, WWE posted a series of images on WhatsApp seeming to tease the ongoing viral angle involving Uncle Howdy. One of the images has a note that reads, "Remember who you are." Other images put together a message that reads 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, Twitch. Another message reads, "I can't wait to meet you." A new QR code also showed up, seemingly hinting at the return of Uncle Howdy, and a new Wyatt family type faction appeared during the WWE King and Queen of the Ring event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. You can view the QR code that flashed on the screen. We showed it yesterday on the review. The QR code leads to a video of dial-up connection being established. It then shows a person playing WWE 2K24. The person then hears a noise or sees something outside. It's unclear what it appears to be looking at, but the whole scene is eerie and the connection on the video then cuts out. They also, on the Twitch stream on Thursday, had these messages that basically alluded to the different members of the Wyatt Six. There was one that alluded to Nikki Cross, one that alluded to Joe Gacy, one that alluded to Dexter Loomis, and one that alluded to Eric Rowan. So it seems like we are getting close. A lot of people believed that we would see the reveal of the Wyatt Six faction and the return of Uncle Howdy on WWE King and Queen of the Ring yesterday, but that did not happen. But there was also a message that said that it alluded to basically the debut might happen on the June 17th edition of Monday Night Raw, which is the Raw following Clash at the Castle. What have you been thinking about all the QR madness and everything leading up with Uncle Howdy? And are you anticipating when Uncle Howdy and the reveal actually happens? Are you looking forward to it at this point, Josh?
I mean, it'll be cool to finally see it. Not 100% against it. It'll be cool to see what they actually do. Because if somebody's gonna follow Bray's footsteps of what he was trying to do or whatever they were trying to accomplish, I mean, it's his brother. Especially after that document series that they did of him, you kind of see where he's going with it, with a lot of wanting to pay homage to his brother. So it's a good step when it comes to that. It's gonna be a matter of what the hell they do with it after. Right. I know some people were like, "Oh,
the execution. How are you going to do this?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?" That's it.
Yeah. And then also it was just the fact that, when some people brought up "Oh, that this is going to be Cody's next opponent." I'm like, you really want the Wyatt Six to get fed to Cody already? It's going to be the same shit that's going to happen with Bray. I don't want that to happen. Give him a low tier feud, so they could still win. They'll be winning the feuds. Don't feed him to the champion yet, because that's gonna be dead in the water if you do that.
Yeah, that's not the best first feud.
Set it up for failure.
I think I said it before on the channel. I don't know if I said it on the flagship, but I feel like the best person for him to feud with Uncle Howdy would be LA Knight. LA Knight, because that's the one that makes sense. That's the last opponent for Bray, and I feel like this whole angle is leading to a heel faction. So I mean, it really depends on who is the babyface they're going to have. Maybe a Jey Uso is another one that might make sense, but a lot of people think that Jay's going to be back in the bloodline story sooner rather than later. So there's not that many options that this type of gimmick, what they want to do, is going to work with. But I think Jay and LA Knight is better than Cody as the first feud for sure.
It needs to be.
We got in the chat, Senior Nerd, who says, I have a bad prediction. Brock Lesnar will have a match at SummerSlam in Minnesota. For sure, Brock will be back with the company before they get to Minnesota for
You have to
SummerSlam.
let the air clear out first, and then he could come back.
That's why they made it for 2 years. They was like, oh, yeah, 2 years is enough time. Everybody will forget that Brock, he was involved in that lawsuit with Vince. Everybody's gonna forget by then. They'll be
unless if he has like that footage like Diddy did. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, damn, yeah, could happen. Yeah, that is another option. Frantic World, Wyatt 6 versus Cross and his team, but feuding with Kerry and Cross in the Final Testament seems like a demotion for anyone, even if you're new.
It does. I rather, I'd rather just come out and cut promos than feud with those guys. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. I don't no. They were in France and they had zero reaction. What the fuck does that tell you about them?
Dude, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing for them. Like they reacted nothing. And ever since they've been on Raw, they've just been doing backstage segments with the New Day, Karrion Kross, coming up to Xavier Woods, being like, does he want to have a threesome with Karrion and Scarlett? Because they've seen his tapes. Anyway, good morning to you.
When they put these facts together, they don't even know what to do with them. Like they don't think them all the way through. That's the problem. Oh, and
it goes both ways. It's not just a Triple H problem. Tony Khan does that all the time. Just put people together in a faction.
Right, they just put them together, but they don't know how to execute it right. They don't know how to they don't look at the long game after it. They just say, "Oh yeah, these guys look like they go good together." Okay, and do you make them lose?
Like I will never forgive, and I know Jimmy Macaran brings it up a bunch, but I will never forgive the fact that they told us the Blackpool Combat Club would be one thing, and they still have not paid it off at all. They said the Blackpool Combat Club was about Brian, Moxley, and Regal training the new generation. Brian T's, recruiting people like Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, Wheeler Yuta, and the only person they recruited was Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, now he's injured,
And now he's injured. So now it's just all old guys. It's them two and Claudio. That's it. When you have Daniel Garcia right there, just put him in the group. Shit. Like, why are you playing games? Piss me off sometimes. But anyway, let's finish up with some WWE from this week. You had Monday Night Raw on Monday, which saw the start of the King and Queen of the Ring semifinals. You had Gunther defeating Jey Uso in a great main event matchup to advance to the King of the Ring finals. Choking out Jay to pick up the victory. All the Yeet fans were sad about that one. Meanwhile, you had Lyra Valkyria. She beat Io Sky in a brilliant matchup that got nearly 20 minutes. Yeah. More minutes in this one matchup than the entire first Queen of the Ring tournament combined. Lyra picked up the victory to advance to the Queen of the Ring finals. Also in the women's division, you had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark won a 4-way matchup to become the #1 contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. This followed an interaction with the returning Sonya Deville, who approached the two about a proposition. Meanwhile, you had Chad Gable, who really was the star of Monday Night Raw, along with Braun Breaker, who destroyed multiple people on the show. But Chad Gable, he picked up the victory over Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn in a good matchup, thanks to an assist from Otis. Otis later apologized to Sammy about it, but then Gable told Otis he must help him win the title at the PLE. Spoiler alert, he did not. What did you think about Raw this week, Miss Chrissy Love?
Shout out to Lyra and Io. Like that match, like if you would have let them, they would have went to 30 minutes. If you could have let them, and I wouldn't have been mad at that. I great job to the ladies. They did an amazing job. Raw was good. Raw was solid. It was cool, middle, was okay, but the beginning and ending, as per usual, as per every week, same thing.
Yeah, that's a consistent thing with Triple H. He's gonna give you a pretty good opener and then a good to great main event every single week, it seems, especially with Gunther in the main event. That's for sure. What do you see we've been over the last couple of weeks, Jey Uso has become a regular topic of conversation for us here on the flagship. Josh, where do you see Jey going after losing in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament?
Just hyping up the crowd more. That's all I really see from him right now.
I'm saying he should be the guy to feud with the Wyatt Six. He's doing the Fireflies. He's been talking about his friendship with Bray Wyatt a lot on interviews. It just makes sense. That was my other. I already had LA Knight in the back of my head, but Jey Uso recently was the one that came to me because I was like, he doesn't have an obvious feud coming out of losing in the King of the Ring. The Wyatt Six, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, then also it was kind of
that makes a whole lot of sense. That he would be the perfect one.
Yeah, and then
like eats to sleep.
Yeah, like the reaction too. I wanted to add on the reaction to the Gunther and Jey match was kind of weird because I was like, people were really upset that Jey didn't win. Like Gunther was the best choice when it came to that, in my opinion. Yeah, and then I think somebody was trying to run with a narrative like, oh, now people are sick of Gunther, and I'm like, where are you getting this bullshit from? I was like, motherfuckers just be making up shit because I was just like, where do you get this outrage from? If you want to compare it to Becky last month winning the title, that's nowhere near that because people were pissed off with Becky winning the championship match. Like that was a different kind of thing. But I think, the whole thing was weird. I'm like, were they really gonna have Jey beat Ilya one week and then Gunther the next week? That was not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Right. That was not gonna happen.
And you brought up Becky, which is a interesting topic. We got her in the headline here. She lost at the King and Queen of the Ring to Liv Morgan, and her contract has kind of been a topic of discussion around, because I think it's going to be due by like June 1st. I think June 1st, she becomes a free agent with her contract expiring, which is probably the closest that WWE has pushed any of these contract negotiations that we've heard about in the last couple of months. Chrissy Love, what do you think is going to happen now that Becky also announced that King and Queen of the Ring, she's doing her rematch on Monday's Raw? So that made me, I said it yesterday to Josh during the review, it makes me think that at least Becky is not leaving, but she's at least taking time off while they renegotiate a deal.
Well, technically, she was, I believe she should have been taking time off because Seth is out. So I figured she'd be home with him, but the whole thing happened with Rhea. So, the Audible had to go and was like, hey, we need to put this belt on you right now. So, I'm sure she's signing. She's just going to be out for a little while. That's all. She's not going nowhere. So I don't know what y'all can get that shit out of your head right now. She is not leaving.
But it makes me, I'm wondering what WWE is going to do because who is the star in the women's division? Like, I know they're trying to build up Liv. They're trying to build up Lyra right now on Monday Night Raw. And, you still have Damage Control there that are still relatively over as well. But Scotland seemed like a good place to do the rematch between Becky and Liv, or at least a triple threat with Lyra in there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, SP. The fact that it's so soon is like, all right, girl, like that. Can I just be a champ? Like, let me do a promo. Let me say, I told you, like, I know, like, my revenge tour is like still not over. I'm the champion. Don't get it twisted. I still got people that I want to get like knock off or whatever. Like, do we need a match for Monday? Maybe we needed to fill in the 3 hours.
No, that's what I said. Like, I think that the reason that they're doing the match on Monday is that Becky's gonna at least take time off. I don't, we said it yesterday, Josh. Me and you both. I said I think it's 90% sure that Becky resigns. The 10% is not that Becky is gonna be. The 10% is not me believing that we're gonna see Rebecca Quinn is all elite at Forbidden Door. No,
exactly, bro.
I think it's more realistic that Becky retires or takes months off if she doesn't re-sign a new deal. What do you think, Josh?
No, same. I was talking about it when we were talking about it yesterday. I was just like, I really don't see a scenario where she leaves, unless if AEW decides to throw the bank at her. You know, and I said it yesterday. I was just like, she'll be in a position, and if she was to go to a place like All Elite Wrestling, where they're gonna cater the shit out of her. They're gonna give her the money she wants. They're gonna give her the freedom that she wants. But again, you know, because she's heavily associated with WWE, it's still like, you know, obviously that'll be the best choice for her. But you know, she is getting older. She is a mom. You know, usually with women talent careers, they're usually shorter than the men's. So this might be where she winds it up. But if you're getting offered millions of dollars, you're gonna get offered the most money you ever made in your life. You're gonna take the deal, right? If she gonna make easily three million a year, that's an easy deal. Like, hey, I could take a few more bumps. I could put people over. I'll take the money. You're talking about like what she'll sign a 5-year deal, which will be like $15 million with all the stuff, all the merch and all that stuff will give you $20 million. That's a lot of money to leave on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where, you know, that's why I said yesterday, I think she has the leverage because, again, in WWE, yeah, they could build somebody else, but they don't have a Becky Lynch right now. They just don't have that right now, you know? So it's like there's a lot of, the ball's in her court and she can decide what she wants. You know, if she decides to retire too, I mean, she accomplished everything she wanted. So that's why that's also a realistic option, because what does she need? What else does she need to do? Right? When it comes to this contract, it's all going to be about, she's going to get paid. It's going to be nice, you know? So it's a matter of what she wants to do.
Like I think Liv said it recently in an interview. Becky, at the height of her career, when she was the number one person in the company, she went and became a mom, and then came back and has been on and just as good of a run. Even I would say in ring, she's been better since coming back after having her child, and she's still one of the top draws in the company, and proved that last year.
That's why I'm like, I don't understand how people like question like having children. Like, you can still have a suitable career and still like they have a whole daycare. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
no, but I think in Becky's case, yeah, I just think in Becky's case,
aunties and uncles that's gonna be back there. Like, you kidding me? Like,
yeah, it's just like
when they say that shit, like, it's like killing me.
No, because I think what it is too is that sometimes, like, in the wrestling business, like, she went away when she was on the very top, and she went away for over a year. Sometimes what could happen is, like, you come back and guess what? There's that next top star, and then you get put in the back burner. I think that's what a lot of people were worried about when it came to Becky. But, you know, the fact that they brought her back and then she won the title and then she was their champion, I think that did help a lot. Like, there wasn't really no cool off period for Becky once she came back. Yeah, you know, she had some goofy shit going on with some of the gimmicks that she was trying to pull off. But then once you started to see like her work in the ring, it was like, oh shit, she got really fucking good. She got better. She got better than she was before. Right? And that's why you see her value now. I think her returning, you see the value more than it was before, because she could put people over. She's teaching a lot of these women what to do. And, you know, that's why she's in a good spot right now, in my opinion. And that's why I think she's kind of dragged this out, because, you know, the more she drags it out, the more money she's probably going to get offered. So it's a good move on her end.
Yeah, because she has all the leverage now because of, you know, the injury to Rhea Ripley, what she increased her value with the run in NXT last year. So I think that, yeah, Becky's going to get the biggest payday of her career with this new contract that she's going to get. We got a couple of comments I wanted to highlight here. We got Tabista, the actor, long time no check. He says SP3, they'll do 2 nights of Survivor Series 2. Women's War Games Night 1, Men's War Games Night 2. Unfortunately, you are probably correct. You are probably correct.
I'm mad that his picture looks like Vince McMahon.
A Mexican Vince McMahon, maybe.
We got he look like him though.
We got also in the chat our one of our members, Annika, who says Io showed out this tournament, really wanted her to be in the finals. Yeah, Io Sky, this whole entire Queen of the Ring tournament reminded fools that she's the best worker in the women's division of WWE right now. Like, she had a banger with Natalya, had arguably the best match of the entire tournament with Shayna Baszler 2 weeks ago, and then 20 minutes with Lyra, and Lyra's best match since getting called up to the main roster. That's what Io Sky can do. Io Sky is a gem that they need to make sure is one of their top stars of their women's division always. We also got in the chat here we got RJF. He says, what a dumb comment. WWE doesn't have another Becky Lynch. Seriously, they're stacked more than ever. If AEW appreciated women, they would know how to use their roster properly.
What the I mean, to be fair, this is a dumber comment because everyone knows what I'm talking about when it comes to, hey, they don't have another Becky Lynch. Right now, who do they have that's basically Becky Lynch? Because we could even make a debate right now that even if they had Rhea is not what Becky is. And that's the point that I'm having when it comes to somebody who has experience, who has not only the experience, but again, she's the one that's carrying the matches. She's the ring general. That's what I mean by that. They don't have that right now because we could talk about, hey, Bianca's all talented, right? But she's not a ring general right now. Like, and that's one thing that we've always said about Bianca. Yeah, she's talented. A lot of these women are athletic, but they don't have what Becky does. And that's just a fact. The next person you could say is Charlotte, but Charlotte's been out, right?
Yeah.
Like Becky, Charlotte, those women are different because of the not only experience, but because they know how to carry those matches. They know how to make other women look good. They don't have that right now. Yeah, they have a lot of talented women, right? There's a difference between having somebody who's athletic, talented, than to have what they have when it comes to Charlotte and Becky. That's what separates Becky, Charlotte, and even when Sasha Banks was there, that's why they were in a different kind of tier.
Category.
Because those were the women who know how to make women look better. Like that's a different scenario. They don't have that right now. Regardless of what you want to say, you know what it is, you could try to debate it. You could try to say who's better than Becky right now. You're probably going to lose this debate. So
yeah, and there's a reason, RJF, that everybody in the chat is just like, what the fuck are you even talking about? So Josh, you honestly didn't even have to highlight that dumbass comment because everybody is roasting him in the chat anyway. But we do have a comment that we do want to feature here because we got a super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck. We always appreciate your support. He says, hypothetically speaking, do you think that Rebecca Quinn would fit better in AEW or WWE? 1000% WWE. WWE, she's a star of that caliber because she's so great on the mic. She has been in a company that traditionally the number one guy has always been a guy. She became the number one guy and became the man in 2019. Yes, a lot of that had to do with Roman Reigns getting leukemia, and they couldn't rely on him like they had been doing for the 3-4 years prior to that. But Becky Lynch in 2019, through the rise that she had in 2018, became the number one superstar in this company. Like, even if you say, oh, WWE has Rhea Ripley now and Bianca Belair now, neither one of them has achieved becoming the number one person in WWE. Becky Lynch did.
Yeah, and then she's already solidified too in WWE. So, I mean, obviously that would be the best move. Like, she stays there. With AEW, it'll be more of, yeah, she will get creative freedom. There's things she could kind of like what Bryan Danielson is with AEW. Like, she could be like that for the women, because she has the skills, she has the mic skills, she has the experience, and like, again, she'll be the person that probably it's not gonna be so forthcoming of, hey, I want to be a champion. I don't think Becky's in that position. Like she has never been in that kind of situation. So again, if she was to go to AEW, I think that would be like the best scenario for her when it comes to that, trying to build something up for a new company. But with the WWE, she's already solidified there. So that's why I'm like, I really don't see a scenario where she leaves. It's either she leaves or she retires. That's how I see it at this point.
Facts. I agree with you there. And we got another super chat donation from the good brother Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B. He says, I got a take for Wyatt 6. If Bo is going to quote unquote wrestle, he shouldn't as Howdy. The whole thing falls apart the moment I see Uncle Howdy in a lockup. Yeah, the Uncle Howdy mask and just the whole look of Uncle Howdy. I don't know. It just looked weird whenever he was when he was fighting with Bobby Lashley last year. It just looked weird as fuck to me.
Yeah, it just looked like he looked like the dude from Black Phone.
Yeah. It's like that's where they got the outfit from, to be honest. Like they took it from the wrestling and they put it in that movie, or vice versa, whatever one. I don't know.
Oh no, they got the inspiration was from Black Phone. I believe the same gentleman who did the mask for them, I think also did the mask for the Black Phone. So yeah. It was more inspired by it.
Yeah. And William saying Sasha can carry a match. What the hell? Yes, but she's not in this company anymore, and it's Mercedes. Don't call her by a slave name. Stop calling people by their slave names. All right.
No. I mentioned Sasha because since we're in the topic of WWE.
I know.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, but I mean, again, like that's why she was one of the when they were talking about the 4 horsewomen. That's why they always mention Sasha. Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. The only person that probably was never in that thing was Bayley. But
Bayley is 100% a ring general, but she's always going to be like 4th because WWE doesn't always seem to get behind her in the same way they do the other 3.
Yeah.
And then also you kind of did see it with WrestleMania, like how fucking great that match was. Like it wasn't like so. You go also put Bayley in that, but because of how they've put in Charlotte, Becky in that pedestal. And then when Sasha was there, there was some, booking things when it comes to her that's why she just didn't come back to WWE. But when you're talking about like those kind of, again, like, the different category of women, that's why they're separated from the other women. And it's not a bad thing that I'm saying. There's nothing bad that I'm saying, like when it comes to like, oh yeah, but it is what it is when it comes to that.
Well, let's talk about some news real quick. WWE has been organizing post-show press conference following the majority of pay-per-view events since 2022. But finally, we have someone who worked in WWE who admits what this shit is all about. During the inaugural episode of his podcast, The Wrestling Mat, former WWE personality and host of WWE's The Bump, Matt Kemp, highlighted WWE's goal to involve fans in these press conferences. On the press conference, he said, and I quote, "I know that these post-show press conferences have been quite the lightning rod of conversation. When they were brought back for War Games 2022, Survivor Series in Boston, I had done a show there. Kayla and I had done The Bump. Michael Cole called me and said, hey, if you're still available, can you do the kickoff? Sure, I'm there. When I was there, I knew about the press conferences. I went to the head of WWE Digital and said, hey, I know you're doing the press conference. I would like to be part of the press conference as media. I put media in quotes because you guys know where I worked. I worked in WWE. I said, listen, I just want to cover the show as a credentialed press member. Obviously, none of that is real or anything. It's a scripted show. Everything about it is scripted. They just wanted to have these post-show press conference. I said, can I just go in there and ask a question? I talked to name that has come up in the wrestling world a lot more. I talked to Chris Legerty, who is now very important in WWE in the PR department. He kind of gave the heads up. Hey, you can go ahead and do this. We'd love to have you ask a question. You know why? Because I was a reliable person to ask a question. I wasn't going to say anything crazy. I worked there. Nothing crazy was going on at the time, not like as it's been in the last few months where Triple H has fumbled and stumbled at some of these questions about a lawsuit or Drew Gulak. This was a pretty quiet time, all things considered. I just wanted to ask about the show. I remember asking Herman a question and asking Sammy a question. I'm sure you can go back and watch this footage. So I'm just asking a question. I wanted it to be part of something we put on the bump, but we never ended up putting any of this stuff on the bump. Take that for what you will. I wanted to just be part of the show. That's all I looked at this as. It's a press conference about something that is scripted. We're gonna ask questions for the most part for the media that was there because you're talking about how you'd feel about this. There's a gray area of kayfabe and what's real and what's story, and you were getting some real emotions out of people like Sami Zayn. Paul kept it very on the level. Paul has always been good at finding that gray area and bringing that reality to a scripted program. That's how it started. I remember the media that was in there just to give you an idea of why I think we see the media members get criticized. After I was done, one of the media members came up to me and asked me for a picture. Happy to do so, but I don't think you're giving off the right message to WWE. Or maybe you are, because that's exactly what they want. They want fans in there. They want people that want to be part of the show, that don't want to mess with their part of the show. The press conference is part of the show. Does Triple H come out at the end and talk about setting all these records? Yeah, sure. That's the real part. But they want this to be on the addendum. We wrap things up and we let people speak a little bit. For the most part, they want softballs, right? That's why there has been criticism with some of these questions. I did that a few times, probably 5 or 6 times. So finally, someone from WWE says they don't want real media people. They don't want real questions. They want, hey, Triple H, how does it feel to be you? Hey, legend, how's it feel to be married to Stephanie McMahon? They don't want any questions about Vince McMahon. They don't want any questions about who's been released. But thank you that finally someone from the company actually said it, because we've been saying it for months.
So does he still work there?
No, he don't work there anymore. So that's why he's able to say it now.
That's why he's talking all this shit. Got it. Okay, thanks. Never mind.
Hey, I respect it. Talk your shit, Matt. Yo, Matt, you got the invite to come to Tru Heel Heat and talk more shit. Come on. Come through. Yeah, so we'll promote your podcast and YouTube channel. Yo, Wrestling Matt, yo. Come on through.
I mean, am I surprised? No, because we all see the bullshit when it comes to the WWE press conferences, right? I already know, people are walking on eggshells. They don't know what to do. So they're gonna ask like these lame questions, right? We knew that, and I've said it for a long time. Like, that's why I'm not a big fan of WWE's press conferences, because of stuff like this. You want it to be real. You want it to be natural. Then have people ask the real questions. Now, if I'm gonna go to a press conference and say like, oh, like, how does it feel to book this show, and like how everything turned out? Like, are you satisfied with the turnout? I don't give a fuck about that. I want to ask the real shit. Like, hey, how do you feel about your father-in-law's lawsuit? Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll do that. I mean, I know that will ruin my reputation with WWE, but I don't give a fuck. But it's just shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's real shit going on, but nobody can ask the questions. Like, what? Like, are we supposed to pretend that it's not real? It's not a real fucking thing? Like,
they want you to. Like, that's the problem.
But that's the thing. Like, but that's what it is. Right? You release people all the time. Why nobody can't ask about the release? Hey, what was your decision on the release? Right? Well, why is that a problem? Why is that an issue? Oh, because the boss doesn't like it. He can get in his feelings. Like, you know what I mean? That he should probably handle himself better if somebody's gonna ask that. That's all I'm saying.
And Matt also addressed the fact that these superstars are not like properly prepped for these questions as well. So that's that's a whole nother issue. And that's why, like, initially I was very critical of some of the questions being asked in the room. Now I'm not, because of this is a kind of someone plain as day laying it out that you ask what you want to ask, whatever is going to fit to what your audience is looking for. If you want to ask about how great are you, Triple H, maybe that's what your audience wants to hear. But they cannot act. You cannot. WWE should not even allow the people that will ask real questions. They should not be allowing Brandon Thurston in there. They should not be allowing. Even though I love him, Cam Hawkins will ask real questions. Like y'all should just not invite. Y'all shouldn't. He did before. He was the one that asked about the Vince lawsuit, and Triple H admitted that he didn't read the lawsuit. Like, you should not be putting Triple H in this position. This is more of a plea to WWE PR. Stop putting these media people in there if that's not the type of questions you want.
Yeah.
Or on the other end, or if you are gonna let them in, prep Triple H and the superstars properly. And I'm not even the superstars. Prep Triple H properly, because he's the one that's fucking this shit up.
Yeah, and I think that's why, like, when it comes to the press conferences, right? That's why I prefer the AEW one more compared to the WWE one, because the AEW one, yeah, they'll get some real questions there. But you can see, like, the answers seem genuine, right? Even when Tony Khan talks about it or certain things, people might not be happy with some of the things he says, like when it came to like a whole Jericho thing and how he kind of avoided it. But there are other questions that he would answer. Like when Jade picked WWE over, he did answer that. Like, he did talk about it, and he was like, how the door is always open. Like, hey, they just couldn't come to terms, whatever the case may be. And the door is always open. So that's why I've always preferred AEW's pressers more. Like, yeah, they do ask some kayfabe questions too, which I think that's okay. But I think if you're just trying to keep it completely kayfabe, there's no point of this bullshit, in my opinion. Like, just don't fucking do it. And I know a lot of real reporters don't like doing the pressers, because it's like, I don't want to spend an extra 2 hours after the show.
Yeah.
They just
honestly, a year ago, I was like, I was on here being like, hey, Tony, let me in one of these pressers. Nowadays, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay not going. As long as I can get a media ticket. As long as I can get a media ticket to go for free, I'm fine with not going to the press conference. And they usually give me the emails that say, oh, you can have the media ticket for the show, but you're not allowed in the presser, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that now. I don't want to stay an extra 2.5 hours after the show.
That's true. That I never thought about that. You're right, because I'm ready to go home. Like, yeah,
SRS said it. He was just like, because people were trying to like accuse him of like, oh yeah, you kissed their ass because they let you in here, and SRS is like, no, he was like he doesn't even attend the press conferences anymore because they're so long and winded that he just feels, he's like, oh, fuck, I could just go home. Like, I could just travel back home with this time that I'm using. So there's a lot of them who just don't want to do it. Again, I'm not against like all the influencers, right? You're gonna have influencers and all this shit. Yeah, it builds confidence. But then if you're gonna ask a question, know what the fuck you're doing. Like, know what you're either gonna ask or what you're doing, because spotlight's gonna be put on you, and if you fumble, you're gonna get roasted, like we've seen people in the past. So, but it's just, for him to say all of this, it doesn't surprise me, because I've been saying it for the longest. I'm like, they're fucking press, they're a fucking gimmick. This is not what I want. They're trying to go the UFC route, even though, yeah, Dana White does go off at sometimes in the UFC thing, but it's too gimmicky. I don't like this shit. I was like, fuck this.
So this is what I want. WWE press conferences, you can only do the press conference if Cody and Jey Uso are drinking on the bus. And AEW, you can only do your press conferences if it's 45 minutes of Tony Storm talking. Deal. Deal. But in other news, another contract that it seems to be about to approach expiring is for Natalya. Fightful Select reports that the veteran WWE star has been approached by WWE with a new contract extension. According to the report, Natalya's current WWE deal is scheduled to expire in a few weeks unless she signs a new deal. The terms of the deal are unknown, but currently Natalya has yet to sign a new deal with WWE. The former WWE Divas Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, and Women's Tag Team Champion is reportedly keeping all her options open, including working on projects outside of WWE. As noted before, she's recently been talking with Yale Productions on a potential movie about the Hart family. Natalya has recently been appearing on NXT and Raw. She's currently in New York doing the Special Olympics and military promotional work for WWE, while the rest of the roster was in Saudi Arabia for WWE King and Queen of the Ring. I'm sorry, Natalya. I know you're trying to keep all your options open, but I think it's like a 2% chance you leave WWE.
I'm about to say, because I was like, I don't think she's one of those people that would go anywhere. She's very comfortable. And she done did a lot of work to her face. I don't think she want to mess that up.
Shit. Oh, shit. Oh, God. You caught her with that one. That was a stray. That went right to her shoulder. She's hurt right now. You speak facts. I appreciate you, Miss Chrissy Love. I appreciate you.
I don't see her going to New Japan to get fucked up. Well, but that's a lot of work that they done did. Sorry.
On Thursday, TKO has also announced that it has merged the live event groups for both WWE and USC into one division called the TKO Live Event Strategy Team. PW Insider then reported that there have been several employee layoffs in WWE this week, including long-standing employees. It was said that they were a few layoffs, although it's unknown which divisions were involved. The source believes that it involved multiple departments. Fightful has an update on that, and per the report, Senior Vice President of Entertainment Relations Christine Prody has been let go. Prody has reportedly been part of WWE since 2000, and she has had a role as SVP of Entertainment Relations since 2005. Fightful Select also notes that Prody was instrumental in WWE signing Logan Paul to a talent contract. Before joining WWE, she previously worked as a casting director and talent booker. Additionally, Fightful reports that another veteran employee, Tavia Hartley, was also let go by WWE. Hartley had reportedly been with the company since 2021, working on the manager, talent operations, and appearances. Before joining WWE, she worked as senior public relations manager for Team Infinity. I do know Tavia. I believe I met her back Survivor Series 2021. So hopefully she gets on her feet and can find new work, because she did very well in her role in WWE. So shout out to her. And then finally, WWE NXT this week. The show featured Wesley and Joe Coffey pinning Josh Briggs for both men, both Coffey and Lee, to become the #1 contenders for Oba Femi's NXT North American Championship at NXT Battleground. Meanwhile, Gallus was also had their attention on the NXT Championship, as Trick Williams came out to explain that he was not involved in the attack on Noam Dar, which led to Metaphor coming out and accusing Trick of being behind the attack. But then Gallus came out and attacked Trick, which pretty much told me that they were the ones that attacked Noam Dar last week. So, hey, Gallus laid out and showed their intentions of coming after the NXT Championship as well as the North American title. Nathan Frazier and Axiom beat the D'Angelo family to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. Meanwhile, the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match filled up as Fallon Henley defeated Thea Hale, and Jada Parker defeated Brenlyn Reese for both Henley and Parker to qualify for the ladder match at Battleground. And then in the main event, it was Natalya and Carmen Petrovich who picked up the victory over Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice in a pretty good main event. But post-match, it was Lola that turned on Shayna, which led to a pull-apart brawl between the two women to set up an NXT Underground matchup between Vice and Baszler at NXT Battleground coming up on June 9th. So some good stuff there on NXT.
Again, you put people together and then you break them apart like 2 days later. Like, this is so stupid. Like, oh my God.
It's the WWE way. That's what they do. That's what they do. They put people together to break them up.
Yeah, it's the HBK way.
Also true. He's never had a tag team partner he didn't turn on.
Damn.
Or turned on him. A new report has some details on. A new report has some details on a future NXT Women's Champion, in my eyes, Julia, as her arrival and her current injury will be affecting her current plans for WWE. An announcement on social media on Tuesday, Dream Star Fighting Marigold announced that Julia suffered a wrist injury during her match at Monday's inaugural Marigold show. She was in the main event teaming up with Yutami Hayashita to verse Bozilla as well as Saray in a great tag team matchup that Dave Meltzer rated 4.5 stars in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Julia was in action at the event and suffered a fractured wrist. The announcement read, Julia injured her right wrist in yesterday's inaugural match. Today, her doctor examined her and diagnosed her with a fracture of the distal end of her right radius. She will miss the Kana Komura tournament, which took place this week, and all tournaments thereafter. She said, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and ask for your understanding. She also took part in a press conference on Tuesday with her arm in a cast. Fightful Select's Corey Brenner had an update on Julia and the plans that WWE have for her upon her arrival in the company. According to the report, sources in NXT are hopeful that Julia will be healed in time for NXT Heatwave in July. WWE is still targeting an NXT title match between her and Roxanne Perez for the July 7th event, but those plans aren't in stone and could change depending on Julia's obligations to Marigold and her current injury. The report notes that Julia will still be available for Marigold once she starts in NXT and is booked for the company's Summer Destiny show on July 13th. She is scheduled to compete against Saray on that show. It is not expected to impact her appearing with WWE before then. Julia is expected to lead the next class of the WWE Performance Center, and WWE is not looking to make big changes to her as they signed her for who she is. Julia made visits backstage during WrestleMania weekend, and she is said to have been very outgoing and polite to NXT talent and higher ups, including a lengthy conversation with Shawn Michaels at Stand and Deliver. The report notes that WWE is not concerned about the language issue, and a source pointed out how Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Shinsuke Nakamura, and others have been speaking their native language on WWE TV. It was also noted that WWE has been impressed by Julia's commitment to learn the English language. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had a follow-up report saying that her return date, Julia, was not happening that soon. However, NXT sources insisted to Fightful Select that WWE wants her to debut at Heatwave. It was noted that while this could change, at the very least, Julia will make her debut challenging Roxanne Perez for the NXT Championship, the NXT Women's Championship. Perez's storyline with Ava is believed to be the catalyst that sets up this matchup. Roxanne has been working stiffer at live events to prepare for the match against Julia. Marigold sources noted to Fightful that Julia will want to make up the dates she's missing due to her injury and wants to return as soon as she is healthy. Both WWE and Marigold sources added that she is not exclusive to NXT and WWE for a while and will keep working with Marigold. This was part of her negotiations when she joined WWE in April. The Wrestling Observer newsletter also noted that all of the necessary paperwork to get her mother, and her boyfriend in Florida so she can wrestle full-time in NXT hasn't been completed as of yet. Of course, Heatwave is in Canada, not the US, where visa restrictions are more lax. Julia has said the date isn't accurate, but the Wrestling Observer newsletter suggests that wrestlers are told to lie by WWE about when they will debut. Fightful adds that NXT officials expect Julia to appear for the brand before she makes a permanent move to the US. However, NXT sources told Fightful that Julia will not have any issues with her visa when it comes to working in the US either. Fightful adds that WWE is reportedly okay with Julia staying in Japan to heal and won't interfere with her plans to wrestle for Marigold to make up for lost time. As for Julia's injury, it's believed that the fracture isn't as bad as initially feared. And of course, a return is still up in the air depending on how the injury heals. And the current plan is to present Julia as the female face of NXT when she eventually does arrive, with one source expecting her to surpass Asuka's success on the NXT brand.
Okay.
So Josh, I mean, yeah, we don't know now with this fractured wrist injury, but do you think that Julia could eclipse what Asuka was able to achieve in NXT?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. And it's just not, it has nothing to do with Julia. It's just that because of the direction that NXT has gone, right? When Asuka was in NXT was at its hottest it's ever been, you know, and I think that's why it's a different animal. I think now it's just like, you know, yeah, they have some talented women, but it's just like the momentum. It's not the same as it was back then. So it's kind of hard to really say. But then also, you know, who's to say she's gonna come up a lot sooner than Asuka did, right? When time is ready. So it's like, give or take, I'm gonna say I'm not sure it's possible, but it's like, what is it gonna mean anything? You know what I mean? Like, you know, when Asuka, she had her undefeated streak, it kind of meant something, but I don't know what, like, when it comes to that, when it comes to NXT stuff, that how the direction they're going with now, I don't know. It's a little, I mean, you know, to her credit, she's talented enough, so we'll see. But I think it's possible.
Yeah. We got Big Man Dogs in the chat that said Bozilla is super over with the Japanese fans. Yeah, that was what everybody was talking about after that Marigold event, Bozilla. So I'm gonna definitely go out of my way to watch that Marigold main event matchup from earlier this week before I do my star ratings for the week. But Chrissy Love, what do you think about the prospect of Julia possibly debuting and winning the NXT Women's Championship? Do you think that will be too soon for her, or do you think that that's the right way to debut her with the goal of her eclipsing what Asuka did on the brand?
Well, I mean, you have so many other girls there, but I feel like they want to put it on a big face, so they want someone like big to do it. So I get why they would put the stuff on her. So I mean, you want someone that reminds them of what Asuka was. I mean, she's still there, but you know, like what her coming to the brand did, basically. So I'm here for it. And it'll bring more viewers or bring those people that know Julia to have them come and watch NXT.
Yeah. Well, you got Herv Hightower, who's not too familiar with Julia. He says, I don't know Julia. I have to see her in the ring and what she has and can do here. When I hear new star, I haven't seen, they are awesome. I can't say that until see them. Well, go out of your way because it's readily available to you for you to see what Julia can offer. I would suggest watching her match. She's had the women's match of the year the last 2 years in my eyes. I gave 2 of her matches 5 stars. Last year, the All-Star Grand Queendom against Tam Nakano was a fantastic, hard-hitting, physical matchup. And then 2 years ago, her match with Shuri, where she won the World of Stardom Championship, was one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. So I would say go out of your way to watch those 2 matches or any of her work in New Japan when she was New Japan Strong Women's Champion. We also got Big Man Dog, who says, I was reading the Wrestle Universe chat and Japanese people were saying she's like Andre the Giant. And I was like, chill, talking about Bozilla. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But Bozilla, hey, we got a new star in the making over in Marigold. So, but We're finally wrapped up with WWE for this week, and we're going headfirst into the Converse because it is AEW Double or Nothing tonight. We're going to do final predictions to end the show, but we got to talk about AEW Dynamite from this week. The show was up from last week's, one of the lowest ratings ever from last week. They were up over 700,000 this week. The show featured Bryan Danielson defeating Satam Singh via disqualification after Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt interfered to attack Bryan for a payday from the Elite. This led to the Young Bucks coming down to attack before Bryan fought back, but a distraction from Kazuchika Okada led to Jack Perry attacking from behind. It looked like the Elite had Bryan dead to rights until Tony Khan made his return to AEW to drive Darby Allin to the arena and lift his band made by the Young Bucks as Darby had a goddamn flamethrower to fend off the Elite and stand tall with Bryan Danielson after he put Nicholas Jackson through a table and another show closing angle for this Elite storyline. Meanwhile, AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland picked up another victory over Nick Wayne. Post-match, Killswitch attacked Swerve, but Swerve was able to fight Black, low-blowing the former TNT champion, and then chase down Christian Cage all the way to the parking lot where Christian was about to escape in a stolen car before Prince Nana made his return to stop him and allowed Swerve to get a measure of revenge before Christian was able to run off and bail before their AEW World title match tonight. Roderick Strong and Trent Beretta picked up a victory over Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay in an awesome opener to Dynamite this week. Post-match, Undisputed Kingdom attacked and bloodied Ospreay while Trent choked out Orange Cassidy on the ramp. Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May made out with the Outcasts. That's all I got to say about this matchup. Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May picked up the victory, but post-match, it was Serena Deeb who attacked May and Storm, hitting the champion with a high heel and applying a half crab with a chair on Timeless Tony Storm's back. I said it on AE Ramble and our preview for Double or Nothing. It only took Tony Khan the last week of this build-up to realize that Serena Deeb was the heel. Congratulations. Pac reunited with the Lucha Bros to reunite Death Triangle to fight off Bang Bang Gang and set up a matchup for Double or Nothing. Malachi Black defeated Kyle O'Reilly in a very good bout. Post-match, Black got a Brood bloodbath courtesy of Adam Copeland ahead of their barbed wire steel cage matchup coming up tonight at Double or Nothing. Chrissy Love, what did you think about the go-home show of Dynamite ahead of Double or Nothing? You're muted.
Sorry. Solid go-home show, I feel like. Whatever that shit is that was on Malachi Black looked like it smelled.
It looked chunky.
It looked like tomato soup and some... It just looked there. It didn't look... I wouldn't want that on me. I'm sorry. I don't care what you said. You can't convince me to put that... No. Mm-mm. But overall, solid show. Love to see Tony Khan is back. Everyone, the heads that needed to come back this week. Well, I mean, they should have came back, I guess, like a little bit more built the following week, because hey. But you have to do much. You have to do a lot because the playoffs are happening, and you need people to watch. So you need to put like all you can into these episodes. Because it's trying times. Like we still got to get to June, and the playoffs is going on for a while. So you gotta put your effort into these shows as much as you can. But yeah, it just Serena Deeb just showed me that she's not winning tonight. Sorry.
I mean, I think that was fairly obvious from the start, but
yeah,
I mean like I said, I'll give them credit. They finally realized that Serena Deeb was the heel here.
Now, how the finish would be, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a dirty finish, of course, but hey, it is what it is.
No, I think Tony Storm wins clean, and Tony Storm. Man, I didn't put it in the notes for last night's Collision. She had another great promo. Anytime Tony Storm has that camera backstage and she's pissed off, oh my God. She said, I'm going to make you feel like that bout with seizures was a walk in the bloody park.
Oh, damn.
She said, no. The best line was, she was like, you don't seem like the brightest person in the world, because who would think shaking on the ground would make you want to wrestle more?
Oh my god. Damn. Oh my
Yo, she is so great. She is so great. I love her so much. The best character in wrestling right now.
It is. It is by far. Yes.
Josh,
But,
any thought?
good show.
Go ahead. Yeah. We gave it a good score on AE Ramble this week. Any additional thoughts of this week's Dynamite, Josh?
I mean, it was a good go home show. I do like the fact that AEW is doing something with this elite angle, because I felt like with the elite angle, you know, like, there's always been like hot and cold periods with what they're doing with them, right? There's always some momentum. There's something always happens that kind of stops. But I've been liking this whole elite thing, you know, with Okada, Bucks, Jack Perry. They all just seem fit. They fit right with what they're going with right now. I also like the fact that, you know, the closing angles have been good. They're the ones that have been involved. So those are positives when it comes to that. You know, overall the show was good. The Malachi stuff was good. You know, seeing Copeland, you know, in his Judgment Day suit, that was cool. Like, because it was mad funny. I was like, yo, that's the exact same suit he was wearing when he was at Judgment Day. So it was mad, like, you know, stuff like that. You know, Serena being the heel, I was like, yeah, it makes the most sense, because even when she was giving that story about the seizures, nobody gave a fuck. Everyone was like, and then when Toni Storm came out, everyone was cheering for her. So I was like, yeah, you got to do the switcheroo for this. But besides that, I mean, you know, show was great overall, you know, and, you know, to see Okada still have his aura is great. Just wanted to get
it was great. It was great to see Okada's aura that apparently is gone to some people. Anyway, it's been a bad week. It's been a bad week for content creators on social media, it seems. But anyway, Blue in the chat says, I felt so bad for Tony Khan. I can't believe what the Bucks had done to him. He looked like he was in so much pain at the NFL draft. TK is so brave to even show up to work in that condition. I hope I said it with as much passion as you typed that out, Blue. And we also got
said it as sarcastic as that count as he wrote it. So great job.
And Attica says, how bored do you have to be at your parents' house to call TK and ask him if you could replace Eddie in Anarchy in the Arena? Yes. Darby Allin did an interview with Fightful this week, Sean Ross Sapp, and he admitted that he was on vacation with his parents and helping his dad move into his new home when he found out that Eddie Kingston was injured, and he was 2 weeks removed from breaking his nose after being hit by a New York City bus. 2 months off of a broken foot, and he decided, hey, let me call Tony and see if I can replace Eddie in this matchup.
I mean, it's Darby.
Right.
I mean, it's Darby.
Seems about right. It adds up. It's Darby.
I mean, it's Darby.
Darby said he will put his life on the line. Like, he said it several times. I don't understand why you guys don't get it by now. Like, you ask all these questions, like, oh, why we're not surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't even think his foot is even healed. He just got hit by a damn bus. So they lying. They just drugging this boy up and say, just go out, go do what you need to do.
Yeah, I know
he's straight edge. He's straight edge. He don't even drug. They don't even drug him up. He's straight edge.
Yeah, I think he also did a meet and greet recently, and I think he was wearing like the guard. So I know he's been wearing that as well.
Dude's insane. Dude's insane, but I love him. I love him for how insane he is. Darby for the love of the game, Allen. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree as well. Power Driver finisher Ospreay's promo after the match, all bloodied, was amazing. They showed that on Collision as well last night. But some AEW news, and we got a big news update this week as AEW has had discussions about the return of Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. MJF's return to television. The former AEW World Champion has been out of action since he lost the title to Samoa Joe at AEW World's End on December 30th, 2023. And Fightful reports that there have been talks about his on-screen return. There is currently no word on a particular date for a return, though several sources say it could happen sooner rather than later, and many expect him to back by AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door, if not sooner, because that show takes place in the most wonderful and magical place in the world, Long Island, New York. It is noted that there have been discussions of how the return will look, potential alterations in presentation of MJF's character, and more between All Elite Wrestling and MJF himself. MJF is reportedly still under contract with All Elite Wrestling for quite some time, and he got an extension following Double or Nothing 2022, though the details around it are not clear. Higher-ups in the company knew that he was securely under contract, and there's no word on his physical status. He was dealing with a number of injuries when he was written off of TV, but I said it on AE Ramble before this news came out. I feel like the only star that can give somewhat of a boost, a sustained boost and a sustained improvement to the TV rating is MJF, or the combination of an MJF and a Kenny Omega return, because those are two huge stars. Probably like, and you saw it this week, Bleacher Report put out the top 40 or top 50 AEW wrestlers of all time. Kenny Omega was number 2. I think MJF was number 3. This is 2 of your top 3 stars in your 5-year history that is out of action for a significant amount of time. I feel like MJF is the guy, regardless of how people felt about the latter half of his run. There's no denying that the ratings were better during the latter half of his run than they are now.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, we can't hide numbers.
Yeah, but also, I mean, MJF, there's a lot of stuff that MJF did that covered up, again, he was good on the mic, so you could bring him out there, cut a 15-minute promo, and it's going to have people tune in, or if he has a match, people are going to tune in because he always puts on great matches. Yeah. So that's a significant, like somebody like that, that's pretty significant, right? Because I know a lot of people are comparing like, oh, Mercedes was supposed to be this big person that's going to bring in ratings, and she hasn't. At the same time, her strongest suit is not promos. So when you're bringing her out there just to cut promos, it's not doing what she's good at. You know what I mean? Like, you're using her weakest point to be on TV, even though like they finally realized, oh yeah, she needs to be heel. That's been better to see. But the best suit for her is her wrestling. She hasn't wrestled until, we're going to see her tonight wrestle. We're going to see how she looks. This going to bring up some momentum too, that, we could finally see her on TV to wrestle. Might do something. So MJF, there's a lot of stuff that he did that, made up for certain things. And that's been missed significantly ever since he's been injured, I would say.
Yeah, MJF just adds something. He's just so different from everybody else in AEW, and I think that's why he stands out and is the type of star that I think can improve the TV rating right now.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to MJF's return, Krssi? Krssi?
Yeah, in his hometown of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm not muted. But yeah, it is a different of the superstar power that, I mean, you have your superstars that are on there, but I guess he's one of the main original guys that they're missing from the programming that is needed. One of those hills that's still, or slash can be babyface. Either way, he is being missed. How will we put him back into the program is the question. How is it going to be executed? Where does he come back? Who does he feud with? Like, is he going back right for the belt? Like, what's going to happen?
Facts. That is very, very true. But We also got some news about AEW's pay-per-view schedule this week. AEW is moving dates for this year's All Out pay-per-view event. All Elite Wrestling announced the move on Tuesday, confirming that the All Out show is moving from its original date of Sunday, September 1st to Saturday, September 7th. The show will be staying at its previously announced venue of the Now Arena in the Hoffman Estates in Illinois, so it won't be in the United Center like last year's All Out was. So this now gives All Out 2024 a little more distance from this year's AEW All In London event, which is returning to Wembley Stadium on August 25th. All Out will now be held 13 days after All In instead of just 7 days after, according to a report by Fightful Select. AEW opted to move the event due to fan concerns that the shows were being held too close together. This puts All Out on a Saturday just before the start of the new NFL season. Additionally, Fightful Select reports that AEW Collision and Rampage will be held that week on Friday, September 6th in the Chicago area. This will be the first All Out event not held on Labor Day weekend since the show started in 2019, and it also Tony Khan addressed the change in the conference call for Double or Nothing, saying that they're not the only show in town now running on Labor Day weekend, because WWE is doing Bash in Berlin the same weekend that they're going to Wembley Stadium for London. So now they're going to have a little bit more room. So 2-week build for All Out instead of a 1-week build, which I don't know if that's much of an improvement, but it is better, I guess.
I mean, it's better. You got to take it what it is, right? You got to take what you're given. 13 days out is doesn't sound ideal, but it's definitely better than what it was last year. 6 days, right? It was 6 right? It was like 6 days notice. I'm like,
yeah.
So, I mean, you could build an extra week. You could build an extra week on something. So, again, I'll take it for now. Let's see how it goes. If it goes well, then that's the move. That's the move you go forward with.
Absolutely. I think Krssi is having some technical difficulties on her end, or switching Wi-Fi's, I think. I saw the squiggly line. But AEW also announced this week another return, but a return of a tournament. AEW's Owen Hart Foundation tournament will be returning this year, although the company has yet to officially announce it. The Calgary Herald did report that the finals of the tournament will happen on July 10th in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Martha Hart will once again appear to congratulate the winners. In the story, Martha noted that she trusted AEW to highlight, promote, and honor Owen Hart's wrestling legacy. She concluded, she says, "We are now working together to ensure that legacy continues." Chris Jericho added, "We've worked with Martha to have him shown in a positive, respectful light as an influential talent. It's great for Owen's legacy and for the foundation, and that's what Martha always cared about. Through the foundation, she was able to take this horrible tragedy and turn it into a huge positive, and we wanted to build on that." Of course, the previous winners of the men's and women's tournament for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament were Britt Baker and Adam Cole in 2022, as well as Willow Nightingale and Ricky Starks in 2023. Chrissy Love, we're going to do early predictions here for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament winners, men's and women's. I am going to go with women's winner, Mariah May. Men's winner, I'm gonna go with because they did heel with Adam Cole. Ricky Starks turned heel, winning the tournament. So I think they should do a babyface finally for the men's side. So on the babyface end, I'll go with Will Ospreay.
Okay. I'd like the Will Ospreay pick, so I will pick that for the men. Women, I pick Mercedes.
That would be big. That would, and that would be something that Mercedes would tell Tony. Like, I want to be in the Owen Hart Cup this year.
I already
Josh,
see her. She's probably already put her stamp on it. Are you kidding me? Please.
Josh, who's your early predictions for the Owen Hart Cup?
Women's, I'm gonna go with Mercedes, even though I do like the Mariah May.
I do like
pick.
I do like the Mariah May pick.
And I think that will help her significantly, even though I think she's in a fine storyline.
Right.
But I think that would elevate, like, hey, she's actually great in the ring. Let's do something with her, right? So that's it's still a good pick. I think I'm gonna lean with Mercedes because it sounds like the safest, but Mariah does sound it is a good pick.
Either one you can't be mad at.
Yeah, and the men's, I think Will. Yeah, I would say Will is a good choice.
Will or Jay's good too. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah,
I mean, I would want Jay White if it means, hey, let's stop this trios championship bullshit, and then you put him in the tournament. I'll be in favor for that. So it's like, hey, we could finally do something singles run for Jay White. Again, those are two good picks. I'm gonna lean with Will Ospreay.
And the reason why I picked those two is to help with answer this question from Annika, who says, more importantly, how much will this tournament matter this year? I say you make the winners of the men's and women's Owen Hart get a shot at the world title at All In. And that's how you set up Ospreay and Swerve at All In. And you set up Mariah going one-on-one with her mentor, Tony Storm, at All In.
Ooh, you see. Oh man. You see that's good.
Damn.
You see that's good. Yeah, you see.
I like it.
You gotta make this matter. You gotta make it matter. So I think that's the thing. You gotta add stakes to it. Like Tony Khan, it's okay to steal an idea from Triple H. Triple H, added the title shot to the King and Queen of the Ring last minute. You could take a cue from that and just add a title shot to the winner of the Owen Hart Cup.
Yeah, man, it'll mean something. You make it matter,
because it's not like they did it last year where Willow wins the tournament and then she got a shot at the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and a shot at the AEW Women's Championship soon thereafter, and then with Ricky he got a shot at the Real World Championship after that.
Yeah, so yeah, I do like that. It definitely helps significantly because I think with the Owen Hart tournament, I'm not expecting like anything big. For me, the Owen Hart tournament is more about the cause of it because, again, it helps the foundation. They are donating. They always donate significantly, and I think that's, for me personally, that's always the most important part of it.
Yeah.
But presented on TV, absolutely, I'm on board with that as well.
Yeah. And it will add some more structure. That's what I want. Structure from, one pay-per-view to another. That's what I want from AEW. But Fightful Select had some more reports, some updates on some superstars, including the aforementioned Darby Allin. Allin, of course, made a surprise appearance to AEW last week on Dynamite. Fightful reports that Allin was snuck into the building last week, and his return wouldn't be leaked, and that's how he was hiding under the ring and got popped in the head with a ring board off a superplex from Dax Harwood to Kashiko Okada, because Darby's always going to get hurt. As previously reported, though, former TNT champion Miro is currently out with a shoulder injury. Fightful Select reports that All Elite Wrestling was hoping to have Miro back in the spring, but unfortunately his shoulder injury is reportedly behind schedule. So hopefully he can have a speedy recovery and improve on that shortly. And finally, Ty Mello revealed that she's training for an eventual in-ring return following the birth of her first child. Fightful Select reports that there is no creative plans for her imminently in AEW. Her husband and AEW star Sammy Guevara was taken off TV and suspended in March due to a concussion protocol issue not being followed in his matchup against Jeff Hardy. And then finally, it was announced on AEW Dynamite this week that next week's Dynamite will feature a Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet. It was announced that the winner of this matchup will earn an AEW World Championship matchup at AEW NJPW Forbidden Door, and competitors have yet to be confirmed, but it was noted that the international stars will appear in the matchup. I am going to go on a limb and say my prediction: Shingo Takagi wins this one, and he versus Swerve at Forbidden Door.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Shingo, because that would be a banger ass match.
But I also thought about a second option, because it is, you do want to have like someone who can have some promos with Swerve on TV heading into Forbidden Door. Zack Sabre Jr. would be my other choice.
I like that one. I'm going with Zach. That's a good one.
Yeah, build up wise, I'll go with Zach. But I think if I want an absolute banger, because I might go to that to Forbidden Door, because it's actually not that far of a travel, I will definitely be on board for Shingo versus Swerve. That would be dope.
Do we get
please
get media tickets free?
Put this guy in timeout. This the last comment.
Who? Oh.
You know.
Power Driver finisher with Evil.
Yeah, Evil. What the fuck? No. Do you want 1,000 people in the USB center? You don't want that. You do not want that.
UBS.
Don't wish that evil on us, please. AEW Collision was last night in Las Vegas, Nevada. The show featured Bryan Danielson and FTR defeating Team TNA in the main event. They got a great promo after the matchup, hyping up Anarchy in the arena. You had NJPW president Hiroshi Tanahashi made a surprise appearance as the mystery tag team partner of Claudio Castagnoli and Daniel Garcia in their win over Lance Archer and the Righteous in a fun opener. Willow Nightingale cut yet another excellent promo going over her history with Mercedes Moné ahead of Double or Nothing. Will Ospreay also cut a great promo following the Undisputed Kingdom's attack on him from Dynamite. Konosuke Takeshita attacked Jon Moxley and Pillmanized his arm ahead of their IWGP World Heavyweight Title Eliminator matchup tonight. Meanwhile, House of Black beat the Infantry, the Acclaimed, and Gates of Agony in a good tag team four-way. Post-match, Adam Copeland cut a lore-filled promo on the House of Black and sent a message to Malachi Black ahead of their barbed wire steel cage matchup. Mariah May defeated Layla Hirsch, while Lucha Bros picked up the victory over the Guns to make the Death Triangle Bang Bang Gang match at Double or Nothing for the AEW Unified Trios Championships. Then you had AEW Rampage on Friday, back on its usual spot. The show featured Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander beating Anna Jay and Alex Windsor in a fun tag team matchup. Post-match, Mercedes Moné came out to brawl with Willow. Roosh defeated Isaiah Cassidy in a rock-solid sprint. Post-match, he furthered the attack as usual that Roosh does. And then you also had Pac pick up the victory over Rocky Romero in a decent opener as well. But some good news ahead of AEW Double or Nothing, as Fightful Select reports that a wrestler on the injured list has been spotted in Las Vegas ahead of tonight's show. And it's who I've been wishing for. It's Juice Robinson is in Las Vegas after being out of action since November of 2023. He was out with a back injury, which required surgery. Of course, Robinson is married to Toni Storm and is part of the Bang Bang Gang. So being in Las Vegas doesn't mean it will be returning this weekend. It was also noted that other outside names are likely to appear this week. And finally, Britt Baker is not in Las Vegas at this point, unfortunately. So we're gonna get at least, I hope that we get the return of Juice Robinson. But man, when is the Britt Baker update gonna happen? Because it's been months without an update of Britt, months without an update for Jamie Hayter. What's going on?
Oh wow, damn! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I forgot all about Hayter. Damn, we need
Hayter's gonna hate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, because I know Brett had like the back injury. I guess it's more significant than we thought it was. I just would like to hear some updates, because even Hayter, like, I have not heard nothing.
I'm scared with Hayter. Like Jimmy talks about it, sometimes on AE Ramble, that the fact that we haven't heard any type of update makes it very scary.
Yeah.
No, it does. And I'm like, maybe it means she's close to coming back, or I don't know. It's kind of weird that they haven't really given no real updates on it, unless if somebody wants to go to the press conference tonight and they ask Tony Khan, hey, are there any updates, Chief? Is there any updates, my guy? So just keep that in mind. Whoever is watching and you go into the press conference, you can steal that question from me to ask.
There you go. See, Josh is helping out the press conference already. Fightful Select reports that Megan Bayne could be finally on her way back to AEW after spending an extended amount of time away from the promotion. Bayne has been under contract for years. She was first out with an injury, and then when she healed, got booked elsewhere at the behest of AEW management. This led to a successful run in Stardom for her in Japan. Creative pitches have been made backstage for Bayne for a possible return to AEW. If she does come back, it would be as a heel. It should be noted that there has been interest in her from other companies as well. Bayne last appeared for AEW in a dark match in June 2023. Have Megan Bayne come back and be the heater for Mercedes Moné and help her win the TBS championship tonight. Book it.
Book it.
I'm here. I'm here for it. Bayne and Moné versus Chris Statlander and Willow coming out of the pay-per-view. Sign me up. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you could either do that, or there is another woman they did sign recently. That'd be cool.
Camille. Yeah.
That'd be cool. And she would be more than a forcer, because remember, when she first got into the business, she was basically the heater. No, she was the what do you call that? She was the insurance policy
for Nick Aldis.
Yeah. So it was like that'd be perfect too. So you could go either way.
I love Chase saying seeing Tada in that shape hurt me. Yo, Tada, I don't know what it is about US turnbuckles, but it takes him a day to set up for the high fly flow now. Whenever he's in AEW, he cannot get his footing right on that high fly flow. It takes a day.
He said it takes a day.
It does, yo. That's why I am dreading the fact that he is the first New Japan star we have seen, which makes me think they're gonna once again have Tada challenge for the AEW World Championship for a third straight year.
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't. And they don't need to. I get the fact that the man is a legend and he's done it all, but I'm like we don't need to see that, especially in New York. I don't need to see that. Put him in some other nothing match. You can put him in that. That's fine. He does not need to be in a title match.
Not at all. Not at all. We got a super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. We appreciate the support. He says that promo with a bloodied Will got me juiced. That belt is as good as his because his blood is all over it. Get it, bruv. I 100% am loving. I did not know that Will Ospreay would become the best promo in wrestling when he signed with AEW, but he is. He could. I said it on our preview. He could sell me sitting in traffic on the Brooklyn Bridge during rush hour. He could sell me on that. He's that good.
Yeah, he's gotten way better in his talking, and it's been like that for a while. Like even before AEW, he started to get there, and now you really, really started to see it. Like this is why they're kind of really building him up to be the star.
And we got another super chat donation from the good brother Vala B. Once again, thank you so much, Vala B. We appreciate the support. He says, pop for the Lucha Bros coming out with their kids, that future Lucha cuz. Yo, their kids get into it so much. Little Phoenix, he be doing the pose and he be getting it popping.
Can you imagine that? That's my dad. Like, what? Can you that's like the most coolest thing ever.
Yo, I can't wait for Lucha Bros versus Lucha Grandsons.
True.
Lucha Sons. There you go. Then finally, the final AEW news note. Yeah, Mark Henry's tenure with All Elite Wrestling, it seems like it's about to be up very soon. His contract, he came into the company in 2021 during the Double or Nothing pay-per-view event, and a recent report from Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp noted that Henry's contract with AEW is nearing its end this month. It's unclear whether the two sides have talked about extending the deal. Upon joining AEW, Henry took on various roles such as an analyst on AEW Rampage, a producer, scout, mentor, and working behind the scenes with several wrestlers. While he has hinted at the possibility of stepping back into the ring for one final match, his intentions regarding this matter remain unclear. But do you see AEW re-signing Mark Henry? I'll ask you first, Miss Chrissy Love.
It depends. You got to see what the contract is talking about. Like, what do they would like? I would say maybe like a 75% chance for him to go back over there. We don't need to see him in a wrestling match though, but like, but yeah, 75% of him is gonna probably go over there and will sign back or whatever.
I mean, I could see him having a similar role in WWE. Now that, like, you know, his real big kind of scouting kind of cue for AEW was Jade Cargill, but like Jade Cargill's in WWE now. His other big scouting cue was Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair's in WWE now. He's on Busted Open Radio. Most of the time he's talking about WWE. I don't know if AEW wants to re-sign him. That's what I would say. If I'm AEW, I don't know if I would want to resign.
You don't know this because loyalty is over to the other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of that. Yeah. What about you, Josh? What do you think?
I really, to be honest with you, I really don't see him coming back.
Oh wow.
Unless if the company really values him and they feel like he could still help out. But yeah, I do agree. I think he leans more towards WWE. He does work on Busted Open, which, you know, Bubba Ray also works there, and he's also heavily associated with WWE. And I think that also plays a factor. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, if AEW feels like they can still value him, they're gonna keep him. But if they feel like this is it, then, you know, he'll go back to WWE.
All right, let's finish out the Converse here. Ring of Honor this week. The show featured Kyle Fletcher defeating London Lightning in a proving ground matchup. Meanwhile, Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Lee Johnson beat Premier Athletes Cole Carter and Griff Garrison in the main event 8-man tag. The Workhorsemen reunited to beat Serpentico and Angelico in tag team action, while Daddy Magic pulled off an upset win over one half of the Ring of Honor tag team champions, Mike Bennett of Undisputed Kingdom. Moving over to Japan, to AEW's partner in crime, New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Best of the Super Juniors Week 2 was underway. Day 6 featured El Desperado defeating Blake Christian in a good main event. Robbie Eagles beat IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Sho. Hiromu Takahashi picked up a victory over Ninja Mac. Moving on to Day 7, El Desperado beat Yoshinobu Kanemaru in a solid main event. Teton picked up a victory over the Jet, Kevin Knight, while TJP continued his run since going 0-4. He was now 3-4 after his victory over Kosei Fujita. Day 8 was this morning. Was on Wednesday. That had Sho getting the win over Doki in the main event. TJP picked up the win over Blake Christian, while El Desperado picked up a victory over Clark Connors. Day 9 featured TJP defeating El Desperado in a great main event this morning. Kevin Knight beat Clark Connors in an upset win and a good bout between the former LA Dojo graduates. And in what I would say was the best match of the tournament so far this morning, it was Hiromu Takahashi defeating Robbie Eagles in an absolutely fantastic matchup, with Hiromu really seeing the effects of the knee injury that Robbie gave him during the matchup. Had a bunch of emotions emotion from the crowd. Really go out of your way to see that one. I really love that match this morning. And then over at NJPW's partner of Stardom, they had the Flashing Champions show last Saturday. The show featured Sori Anoy beating Ame Saray to retain the Wonder. What happened?
And so that move looked like it hurt. Look how behind the ropes, like it was, oh my god, that looked like it hurt bad. Okay, I'm sorry.
She retained the Wonder of Stardom Championship in the main event. Sari Anoy. Then you had Best Friends, the female version, defeated Mayu Iwatani and Hanan in a splendid, hard-hitting tag team bout. And then you also had AEW's presence on a Stardom major show as Willow Nightingale made the trip over to Japan to pick up a victory over former World of Stardom champion Tam Nakano in a brilliant matchup between the two women. Willow Nightingale has really elevated herself throughout this TBS title run, and it's only been a month, but from where she was a month ago, she has showed so much improvement, so much evolution in her game. The promo on Collision was amazing. She has smoked Mercedes on the mic in this feud.
I know it's not on purpose, but I think
it's not even close. It's like not even close. Willow has been the MVP of the build up to this matchup.
Just saying, and
she's been working, as our producer said.
To be honest, like, say that again.
I think you broke up. You was like stuck in the matrix there for a little bit.
Oh yes, but, that's what I was like. What'd you say, Adam? So I was like, I don't know if it's even on purpose, but I'm like who is the baby face and who is the heel in this whole thing? Because it's like she's getting smoked, and I'm like, oh, like that's not even like supposed to be your job, sis. But okay, like give it all you got. I mean, I hope.
I think part of it too is that
I don't want to lose, but
I think it was also a little too late when they finally established like, all right, Mercedes is going to be the heel. I think they kind of wait on that a little too long.
When she said out, someone walked out and I walked out and you didn't. That was like, oh yeah, Willow's definitely giving heel vibes, yo. She said that with her whole chest, like.
Nah, I don't think she said it like in a heel way. It was more of like she was a badass. She was confident in herself. I think it's been firmly that. I think it's been firmly that Mercedes is the heel in this situation.
Yeah.
Like
she also attacked Willow first. She also attacked Willow first when it came to like the table spot. So Willow did counter it and then she put it through the table. So yeah, she's been again. I think they kind of just waited a little too long to establish like, all right, Mercedes is a better heel. Let's go with that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, they still figured it out a lot faster than Serena Deeb, though. So.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Hey.
I mean,
I'll give them that. I'll give them
that. In some New Japan news from GCW at that, during last night's GCW Take a Picture event, the new GM, Matt Cardona, our good friend of the channel, stripped Blake Christian of the GCW World Championship. Cardona noted that due to Christian taking part in the NJPW Best of Super Juniors tournament, he called it the Battle of the Super Juniors tournament, he was unable to appear at the upcoming event where he was supposed to defend the GCW World Championship against Joey Janela. Janela then came out and protested Cardona's decision, and Cardona then put Janela in the Matt Cardona Gauntlet of Survival matchup that will determine the new champion coming up on June 2nd. So Blake Christian's great run as GCW champion ends via stripping of by Matt Cardona. And then finally, TNA Impact, the show featured, not that one. The show featured Trent Seven defeating Speedball Mike Bailey in a damn good main event between the members of Speedball Mountain, where Trent Seven picked up the victory thanks to a distraction from Mustafa Ali and interference from Champagne Singh. Seven will now face Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship coming up at TNA against all odds in Chicago, Illinois. Broken Matt Hardy and Ryan Nemeth picked up a victory over the System. Post-match, Moose came out to attack the baby faces until Nick Nemeth came out and made the save, making his return to get a measure of revenge. This sets up Hardy versus Moose for the TNA World Championship, as well as the Nemeth brothers versus the System for the TNA World Tag Team titles at Against All Odds. So some good stuff coming up at Against All Odds. Yeah, Ryan Nemeth is his brother. Oh. Okay. She's like, I know they had the same last name. I didn't know if they're related.
Yeah. You get my honest, like, this is like, I'm like, okay.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I knew it was the last name, but never knew that, okay. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. See, I went through that as quick as I could, Chrissy Love, though. You saw the producer told you everything we had left, but you see how fast I went through it?
Yeah.
Quick as easy.
Yep.
Match of the week time, your favorite time of the week, Miss Chrissy Love. Don't worry, I don't have 10 this week because I'll save 10 for next week. But this is where we give our best matches, our must-watch matches from this past week. So let us know in the live chat your matches of the week, what you thought was the best ones. Big Man Dogs, that's a good question because I'm very much confused on that. I don't know if he's still with AEW or not. That is confusing, I will say. They should clear that up or make that be known. But match of the week, number 5 for me this week, I'll go with Lyra versus Io Sky from Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
Number 4 for me, I will go with Malachi Black versus Kyle O'Reilly from Dynamite. Number 3 for me this week, I will go with Gunther versus Randy Orton. I like the story of the matchup despite the bad finish with the shoulder being up. Number 2 for me this week, I'll go with Sammy versus Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable from King and Queen of the Ring, the Intercontinental Championship matchup. Like I said yesterday, that was like 2-3 minutes away from being a absolutely excellent, tremendous bout, but it was great nonetheless. And number 1 for me this week, I'll go with Cody versus Logan Paul from WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Krssi.
Mine is similar to yours, SP, just different orders. So number 5, I put Sammy, Gable, and Bronson
Reed.
Yeah, that's 5. Number 4, Lyra and Io. 3, Malachi, Kyle. 2, I'm going to give Cody and Paul. 1, Gunther, Randy. Honorable mention, though, to Gunther whooping Jay's ass, which was great on Monday Night Raw.
That was great. That was a great match, too.
It was a good match. I'm not even going to lie to you. And his entrance alone was like fire, so. Yeah. I'm not a yeet person, but the yeet that he did that one, I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. I'm liking these camera angles. I'm liking the range of you watching me back outside. And he's like, hit my music. That's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Cody and Logan won my match of the week strictly for that 360 shot they did with the drone.
Yeah.
that three. Yo, that was one of the best camera angles they've ever done.
Yeah. They've been doing some good angles. They've been getting some good angles. Even Sammy's entrance alone, like for his second time going to Saudi and them embracing him and like him getting it in again. Bravo. So yes, that's me. Thanks.
Josh.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with the triple threat match. Sammy.
I love that he never has an amount that we have. He always just goes with 3. He stays consistent.
Yeah, he stays consistent. It's consistency.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'm saying the top 3, it's like baseball, like you see right a lineup, you got like the Yankees, you got Volpe, Soto, and Judge. That's all you need in the lineup, right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm gonna go with. So the number 3, the triple threat match, that was really good. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Orton versus Gunther, and then number 1, Cody versus Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
That is good to go. And we got in the chat Big Man Dogs who says Malachi versus Kyle, Gunther versus Orton, Julia and Yatami Hayashita versus Bozilla and Saray, and Cody versus Logan. Don't worry, I got you on the last name. Don't worry, my friend. But let's do rapid fire predictions for tonight's AEW Double or Nothing 2024, Las Vegas, Nevada, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live here with the watch party, but we got the pre-show, the 0 hour buy-in show. It's going to have 2 matches already announced. First up, you got the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. I am going to go with Cage of Agony here. What do you got, Josh?
Cage of Agony.
Krssi?
I really like Agony. There are some sexy men. When you see them in person, they're just amazing. I mean, they have some thighs that can hit that save lives. Oh, sorry, you didn't expect. My bad. But yeah, I'm bored of the Acclaim now. I'm sorry, Cage and Agony. Listen, one thing you can always say about me, I keep it real and I'm consistent with the
We love you for it, Krssi. We love you for it. We just in case you weren't aware, we love you for that. Okay. Meanwhile, you also got on the buy-in. It's gonna be Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo. I was asking for this match like 2 weeks ago to be made for the buy-in. It's official. I'm gonna go with Deonna Purrazzo to get her win back here.
Yeah.
What you got, Krssi?
She needs it. You know what I'm saying? I both women should, first of all, just a disgrace that they're on a buy-in, but whatever.
Nah, I think you don't need more matches on the main card. I'm good with it. I'm good with it being on the buy-in. You need one women's match on the buy-in, especially if there's 2 women's matches and one of them is a main event on the main show.
Okay, fine. All right. All right, SP. When you're right, fine. Whatever. Deonna needs this win, so Deonna.
Josh?
I think Deonna. I think she definitely needs to win, but is also going to solidify her heel run. So go with Deonna with this. Thunder doesn't really hurt Thunder if she loses.
No. Great comment here by Annika who says, yes, Krssi, especially the one with the dreads.
Mine is the one without the dreads, but I won't go wrong with either one of them, Annika, to be honest. Like, I'm not a choosy person at all.
It's fair. This one will be a grudge match, a straight up singles match. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. I am bored of this feud, but Trent gets the win.
First of all, I don't even like this feud. This is stupid, but whatever. Give it to Trent. He won't do much of nothing once this is over anyway, so it's whatever.
Josh?
Probably gonna be the odd man out. I think I'm gonna choose OC.
Okay.
I think Trent gets the win and he aligns with Don Callis.
He needs
for the AEW Unified Trios Championships. It will be the Bang Bang Gang defending against Death Triangle. I am gonna go with the Bang Bang Gang to get the win, thanks to the returning Juice Robinson.
Yep.
Josh?
Bang Bang Gang.
Krssi?
You know my answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
3-way for the World Championship matchup. Chris Jericho defends against Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. I am a fan of the Learning Tree, but I'm not looking forward to this matchup. But Jericho wins.
Nope.
Krssi?
Oh, you want my answer? I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah. This should have been on the buy-in, but whatever. The Learning Tree probably will win. Poor Hook.
Josh?
And the man that talks to Shibata talked with the translator is really funny.
It is.
I like it.
Josh?
That's the best part of it all.
I think it's Jericho. Even though, as much shit I've been giving Jericho, I've been liking the stuff that he's been doing now.
Yeah. Next up, we got IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator matchup. Jon Moxley goes one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita. Unfortunately, they did the angle on Collision, so now I think Moxley's gonna win. Fuck, man. they keep fumbling Takeshita. Krssi?
Moxley. Yeah, even though Takeshita, this is probably gonna be a good match too. Mox is gonna be bloody as hell. Another one that just gives his body on the line for for whatever reason that he feels needed. But yeah, poor Takeshita.
Josh.
It's gonna be Mox. I don't think Mox is gonna lose anytime soon unless it's on a New Japan card. So go with Mox.
Next up, we got for the TNT Championship, Adam Copeland defends against Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage matchup. I praised the build up to this matchup because I did not think I would be this interested in this matchup a month ago, but I am because even though it's spooky nonsense, it's been fun. I'm going with Copeland though to get the win. Who do you got, Josh?
Copeland, and I do agree. The build up has been fun. Even though they've been doing spooky shit, it's actually been some good spooky shit at least. So,
Krssi
for the win.
I got Black on this one. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go build the audible one and say Black needs to win.
Oh,
that's fair. That's fair. This one,
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. This one, though, I think is going to be the match of the night. Roderick Strong defends the AEW International Championship against Will Ospreay. This is the type of matchup that I've been wanting for Roderick Strong. I think he's going to show the fuck out. I think the floor for this is 4.5 stars. I've got Ospreay getting the win, though. Krssi?
Ospreay for the win, of course. Give him that gold, baby.
Josh?
Ospreay.
AEW Women's World Championship up for grabs. Timeless Toni Storm defends against Serena Deeb. Storm for the win. Josh?
Storm retains.
Krssi?
Storm.
And then we have the triple main event. First, AEW World Championship up for grabs. Swerve Strickland will defend against Christian Cage. This is another one where I really like the build up to this matchup, but I think there's no question Swerve gets the win. Krssi?
Swerve for sure.
Josh?
Swerve.
This one may be the most anticipated match of the night. Will Mercedes live up to the hype as she challenges Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship? 1 year in the making. I got Mercedes cheating to win because the worst possible option would be Mercedes winning this match clean. Josh?
Not cheating to win.
Mercedes. I think her first match, you give her the win and give her the belt. Even though I love the stuff that Willow's been doing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Krssi?
I got Mercedes. I'm sad for Willow though.
I think this is setting up an even bigger third match between the two. So I'm not too sad for Willow. Willow honestly should be Women's World Champion by the end of the year.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. Hey, Prince. Hey,
and then finally, we got the AEW, the fight for AEW, as it's going to be Team AEW, FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson versus the Elite, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and Kazuchika Okada. I am going to go with the Elite to win Anarchy in the Arena. Krssi?
Yeah, because Jack Perry's give it to the Elite. Jack Perry needs to win. It makes it more important for him to win than the other guys.
And Josh, who do you got?
The Elite. You establish more, you build up the storyline with the Elite more. They need to look dominant, so go with the Elite.
So those are our final predictions. Join us live here tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time for our watch party. But until then, y'all know what to do. Y'all can follow us on the social media platforms. Miss Chrissy Love, you're first up. Let everybody know where they can follow you and when they'll see you again.
Okay, friends. Hey, so you can join us every Saturday, 11 to 5 a.m. We'll be back next Saturday for Tru Heel Heat, our flagship show on this channel. So be there, be square. Bodyslam.net, Know Your Role every Friday with Stephanie Hypes and myself. So be there for that as we do the SmackDown review. And then other than that, we do some recaps. We do some watch-alongs. SP and I will probably be back soon with the next documentary that we'll be recapping, which is Who Killed WCW, right, SP?
Yes, that starts 2 weeks from now. But me and Krssi, we got to team up next week to do something on Power, because Power is about to come back. So we gotta connect. We gotta connect during the week. We gotta figure out when we could connect.
Okay.
We gotta talk so we could do something on the second channel.
Yep, got it. All right, sounds good. Other than that, you can follow me, Chrissy Love _1, or Tru Heel Chrissy Love on X, which is Twitter, and just my plain old name. Thanks.
Josh, let everybody know where they can follow you.
Go follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. Hopefully I'll be back Wednesday for Elite Heat, depending on if everybody's schedule works out. And yeah, I'll be back next Saturday too for the next Tru Heat podcast episode.
Yes, we'll be back on Saturday next weekend. So until then, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. You can follow the gang Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Best place to support us when we are not live here. You can't send a super chat. You can send $3 a month to our Patreon and get exclusive content and support us that way. And of course, ProWrestlingTees.com, ForYourAware.com. Get your Tru Heel Heat merchandise. Join us for the live stream tonight and join us tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Professor Chris from the NWA podcast.
Hey.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, for only the second time this year, and it might not be another one that he will review, Jimmy Macaram will review an AEW pay-per-view. I convinced him to review it. He's still penciled in. I don't know if he'll show up tomorrow, but I'll hype it like he is. Join us live.
I mean that's interesting because I am off tomorrow. So
hey, Josh, the invite is there. We can have history of Josh and Jimmy on a stream. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait for that one. But join us for the watch party. Join us for the review tomorrow for Miss Chrissy Love, for the True Jaw Josh. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 278, King and Queen of Double or Nothing. We are signing off until next time.
Later.